Garnt is doing his best Mikasa cosplay right now.
Scarf is so comfortable.
If Attack on Titan has proved anything to me, it's that you want to get a girl, get her a nice scarf.
You want a man? Get him a nice scarf as well, because this is so comfortable.
What's up, brethren? Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Taste Podcast. I'm bringing back the intros, baby. I'm with brethren number 2 and 3.
Can we get demonetized for that?
But the word
I'm pretty sure it's close enough.
oh, dude, I'm quitting YouTube if that happens.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Dude,
No,
have we really gotten so Puritan to the point where we can't even say that anymore? That's ridiculous.
Yes, on YouTube, yes. I've given up on making money on YouTube via ad revenue. Holy shit! For the last 6 months, I think I have had only one video that has not been demonetized.
Are you serious?
Yeah, on my main channel at least.
What the fuck?
Which is why, if you're wondering why I never upload anymore unless I have a sponsor on it, that's why. Otherwise, I would not make any money on it.
Jesus.
But you know, sometimes you gotta take the L's with the L's. Sometimes.
Is it because, do you think, of the anime content, or do you think it's just because of like something else, like
it's
swearing?
It's always something different. There's like a million different things. Sometimes it's some of the anime content, sometimes it's the language, sometimes it's the music. But as long as I have sponsorships, I'm also very unwilling to compromise on the way I want to make content.
Yeah,
so that's course. You know, as long as I have sponsors, I'll keep making videos. Hopefully.
I didn't know it was still that bad, because I definitely got the brunt of that. When the first Adpocalypse thing happened, but I've been pretty good for the past year or so. I mean, you never really got affected that much, right?
No.
Yeah.
Right. It was really weird because, when the whole apocalypse happened, everyone was freaking out.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm pretty sure my stuff should get demonetized. I bit my mouth. I had a loss.
Yeah, that is true.
I didn't get it, and I was kind of waiting. And then everyone was freaking out. I'm like, yeah, let's all freak out and get angry. I'm like, but my stuff's all green still.
Meanwhile, he's Scrooge McDucking through his money.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, here's another Yaoi video. Please don't do
that.
But then YouTube figured out that Yaoi was something that they should demonetize. And then the videos just stopped getting views as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it's hard being in the 1%. Let me tell you that, right? It's hard. Okay.
My safe work stuff on my second channel. That's why I actually have to give a shit.
I'm actually getting more videos demonetized on my second channel than I am on my main.
It's because you're making anime content.
That's right. See, why do you think I stopped making anime content?
YouTube just doesn't like anime.
No,
why I
doesn't
like anime.
And that's why everyone
told me to stop.
And that's why everyone stopped making anime content but me, basically.
Horrible.
But you guys got to go to my home country for the first time.
We went to Thailand.
We just came back from Thailand. Didn't really post much about it. Just kind of went there. I kind of invited you guys at very, very last minute to come. And luckily you guys were free.
Yes, we were there for 3 days.
I
think 3 days was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Really? I wanted to be there a little bit longer.
I mean,
because we only really got to explore I feel what is kind of like a corner of Bangkok.
Yeah. The super touristy stuff we did, which is fine because it's that's how you get introduced to a country.
Of course.
Is through the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, taking more than 3 days off of work, I'm like,
yeah.
Bro, you literally cycled for 8 days. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but that was work though. That was work.
Right.
If he's not filming it,
that
it's
was
not
work.
good.
All right.
Well, technically, I filmed a vlog, so I didn't get a break. So,
all right. Well, fuck you.
So I was working,
right.
so I don't know what your excuse is. Yeah, no, but it was great. I feel like I kind of agree. We did kind of go to all the touristy places, but I think that just made me want to stay for a little bit longer. I think next time if we were to go, I definitely want to maybe. I mean, I don't know what's anything good outside of Bangkok.
I kind of took you to let's say the more pristine, clean areas. Next time you're in Thailand, we'd love to take you to some of the more back ends. Let's say dirtier places.
Yeah, I'm down for
because you can get a lot of interesting things there.
Do you guys have a lot of islands and stuff like that?
Oh, we have
as well?
so many.
I think a lot of the big tourist destinations they're really pretty islands.
I think that's what I want to do next. For sure. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll join you on that one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was an interesting experience from the moment we got off the plane. It felt very different. This is the first time I've gone to a country in a while where I wasn't able to speak the language even remotely so.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing America and Japan, which is okay, I know how to talk in Japan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird going to a place and being that guy again who couldn't You literally was like, please speak English. Please. I felt bad, but it was what it was. But like, you get off the plane, and immediately I think American immigration has ruined immigration for me because I was terrified. I was just conditioned by America to be terrified. The moment we get to the passport gate, they literally just look at the passport for like 1 second, like, get in. Go, get inside.
So I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah, in Thailand, because like so much of our economy is tourism.
It was like that, dude.
I don't even, like, did they even ask you what the purpose of your visit?
No question.
Dude, the dude didn't even talk to me. He
looked at the passport, hand on the thing.
Silently grabbed my passport, looked at it, looked at my face, stamped.
Yeah.
Dude, they were doing like a paper please speed run. I wanted to I was like, damn, I should just say I'm working. Let's see what happens.
Damn, I should have smuggled drugs.
Dude, like, this shit felt too easy. America, I gotta ask questions just to go to the toilet. Like,
was the line long when you got in?
No, it was super quick. All right. And then the question was like, oh fuck, it's not America. I can't like Uber or I can't do anything.
Right.
I was like, fuck, I don't have any money. I don't have anything.
I gotta take a taxi.
Yeah. So we were like, fuck, what do I do with the cabs? And I also don't have a SIM card. I don't have anything. So I went over to the SIM card.
Right.
There was like 3 of them and they all look really sketchy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I have 2 SIM cards, please? It was like $10 each.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, sure. Can we have your passport? And then they will all whip out their iPhones and start taking pictures of my passport. I'm like, wait, what is this? What are you guys doing?
This is for my personal collection.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you all whipping out iPhones? What is this? I was really confused. I was like, what are you guys taking pictures for? They were like, oh, we just have to do this. I'm
it's like, oh, you're just hot, you know? I don't know. It's just like, oh, good looking boy.
Weird.
Right.
And then I was like, okay. And I was like, can I pay by card? They're like, cash only. I'm like, that's weird. We're in an airport. Okay, it's fine. I'll get some cash. And then come back, give it to them. Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, got my SIM cards. Go to get the taxi. And I'm pretty sure I'm getting ripped off right away.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's like they want to charge me something like $60, like USD. Right. And I know from what I've heard from Thailand, that's in Thailand, that's extortion.
Yeah, it is extortion.
And I was like, but will the taxi be there right away? And will it be a big taxi? Because there was like a group of us, and they were like, yes. I was like, scam me. Take my money.
Yo, bro, you paid $60 for a taxi in Thailand?
I think it was like 48 USD, which is 100% a ripoff. But, dude, we literally rocked out right away and it was all ready to go.
Yeah,
because, no question.
Because when I heard that from Connor, right, again, this is America corrupting my mind. I was like, oh, $60 for like, what is it, like a 40-minute like taxi ride? I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine.
It was a big van. It was
it was like a big van that could, obviously fit all of us.
Yeah.
But so, in my head, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. But then the second time we got onto the taxi and the guy put the meter on, and I saw 30 baht was the starting price. I'm like, it's like 80 cents.
Yeah, it was like a 30-minute cab ride was like $10. I was like, what the fuck?
Not even. It was like $8.
It was insane.
At most. I'm like, Japan could never.
Yeah, I mean, like, first rule when if you ever come to Thailand and pretty much every Southeast Asian country, if you get a taxi, meter only. Like, if you really need to, they will try to like get a fixed price.
Yeah, I noticed this. They kept trying to do, and I get it. I look white as shit. I get it. You should scam me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey, I'm going here. And he just said something. I didn't get it. And I was like, he said like 3 or something, guys. I didn't.
He was like 300 baht.
Yeah, and I realized afterwards he was asking for like 5 times the price up front. And then I think like, at one point, we split up into 2 taxis. Joey went, and then I went. We all went the same direction, and I told him I wanted the meter. Joey paid the 300. My thing came to like 100 or something.
Yeah,
I paid like a third of what Joey paid.
To be fair though, that 300 baht taxi ride, I remember because we were heading to the big markets. I forgot what the name of it was. Yeah, that one.
Right.
So we were heading there, and I told the guy that we were heading there, and this guy clearly was very excited. Right. That it was like, oh, he's taking a tourist, right? That can't speak a word of Thai. So he was trying the entire 30-minute taxi ride. This guy was trying so hard to sell me on this market that we were heading to. But the only thing he could say was 14 market. And he would just repeat that for 30 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, bro. There's 14 of them. I get it. And then every time I would respond, he'd just laugh and go, Thailand, happy. And I was like, yeah, you seem very happy about it. But it was like, I think that's like one thing about like I guess if you can call it the Southeast Asian like living experience, right? Is like
Right.
everyone's just so chill and it's just like so happy that you're there that like because you very rarely get anything like that in Japan, right? Like maybe in Okinawa, right? You would get someone that talkative and that like
People are
trying to express
too
you.
chill.
People are too
They're
chill.
too chill.
Yeah,
Chill.
that's one of the big reasons why I moved out of Thailand after living there for like 3-4
Because you get
years.
nothing done.
Dude,
Holy shit.
I noticed as well, dude, people just don't indicate ever in
Oh,
Thailand.
no, lanes are a suggestion.
They seem like a pointless thing. Like this dude, we were on like an hour ride, didn't touch his fucking indicators once.
No, I remember
Like,
they would
what the
either
fuck?
they would either not touch the indicator or when say they wanted to signal going into the left lane,
Yeah.
they would flick the indicator on for half a second.
Yeah, it's
They'd be
half a
"Clap."
second.
I'm like, no one saw that.
literally the mood when you're driving in Thailand it's just like, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? Because literally you just have to like go.
Yeah, everyone was just being a dick, and
Yeah.
I swear it makes traffic slower because
Yeah.
everyone's being selfish.
Yeah.
and it's just slowing everything down.
The moment the taxi just starts driving off, I can just see the objective survive. It's so scary to be in
Yeah.
the front. It's like you are getting tantalizingly close to these, like, especially the bikes as well. Oh my God. I mean, like, I knew Southeast Asia had a lot of bikes, right? Because, you know, I've been to the Philippines.
Yeah.
But, like, Jesus Christ, these bikes are fucking speed demoning through these, like, trucks and all these taxis, you know, avoiding the lanes and shit
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, how does anyone survive?
I mean, it's just like I said, in Thailand and most of these Southeast Asian countries, you just need ultra instinct to survive, right? Because there's like you are constantly just checking every mirror possible because it's not the cars you need to worry about, it's the motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know what? In the environment of driving in Thailand, I don't care if a car doesn't indicate. That's just normal,
Right.
you know? But if you're changing a lane, there is you always have this instinct that there is going to be a motorcycle driving past or a motorcycle doing something.
Bro, I swear, some of these taxi drivers have like the periphery of a deer. Like they just like they can see behind without looking back. It's I can sense two bicycles
That's what
coming on
was
the
most
right
concerning
lane.
about the lack of indicating is like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, if you're driving on a motorbike, my God, you're
Yeah.
just praying that people aren't being dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like Thailand's one of those, like Bangkok's one of those cities where people risk their lives daily going on motorcycles, me included, because the traffic's so bad,
Yeah,
it's really
right?
bad.
And there's sometimes there's just no system in place right now. Bangkok's still very much a developing city, especially with this public transport, that sometimes you choose getting stuck in a traffic jam for 2 hours or it's a 20-minute taxi ride. Which one are you going to take? And you're like, well, I'm risking my life, but that 20-minute taxi ride, that 20-minute motorcycle ride looks damn appealing right now, man.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna lie. But yeah, did you guys go on like the tuk-tuks as well?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Anything like that?
Couple
That
of
was,
times.
that was interesting because again, like it was like a 5-minute ride and the dude was like 300. And I was like, oh. I was like, dude, I'm like, this looks like it weighs 10 pounds. There's no way the gas usage in a year is probably not even $10. What are you talking about?
I remember the first time we rode the tuk-tuks and like Connor did like a full-on gamer move and the guy was like 300, but obviously, you know, we couldn't all fit into one tuk-tuk, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the tuk-tuk can only see maybe like, what, 3 people at most?
Yeah.
So we had to get 2 tuk-tuks and Connor did like a big move where he's like, all right, let's do a package deal.
Yeah.
500 for 2.
Well, originally I was like 200, and even then I know 200 is too much still.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you can scam me, but just give me this. I just want to barter a little bit. I just want to feel like I belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bartered with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I knew I was getting ripped off, and I
Yeah.
was like 200, and he was like, no. 250. And I was like, 250 for both. And he's like, all right, sure. Then he shouts at the dude who had no affiliation to him behind him, being like, we're taking them both for 250.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
I didn't know what the guy said, but I could make it out pretty much. He said, follow me and make 250.
He said follow. He didn't tell him where we were going. He said, follow me. And holy fuck, these things felt dangerous, dude.
Oh, they
Oh,
are.
dude.
Yeah.
No seatbelts. You're holding on for dear life. The dude's going like 60 miles an hour, and you're like, holy fuck, this is cool. But oh my God, I'm going to die.
I I don't know if you saw, but like before we went onto those 2 tuk-tuks, there was like a group of about 6 people in front of us, right? And I thought we had to wait a little bit, right? Because I saw like, while we were driving on the road, these tuk-tuks could, maybe fit 2 people on average, right? Maybe 3 if you squeezed in. But there was a group of about 6 of them.
They all got in.
They all got into one tuk-tuk. And they're just like
they're like leaning off the side.
They're like cramped in this tiny little thing, and they're like, a hotel, please. And I'm like, bro, if you get
ain't no way.
Ain't no way. The tuk-tuk turned into a clown car, dude.
Sometimes it is extremely tightly packed, and I was like, that. I mean, it's dangerous already.
Yeah.
And that felt like, why not add more risk?
Yeah, because I've seen like entire families get on these like motorcycles, they put like their 2 children at the front and the parents are sitting on, and then on top of that they have their shopping on their like motorcycles. They are packing these things up insane. To the brim.
It just blew, I think what blew my mind for one was just not only the sheer amount of motorcycles that are on the road, but also just like how casual people are driving these things through that environment. Like I remember I saw, usually when you're on the back of a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
The first thing is like, make sure you're sitting in front, holding onto the driver, right? Maybe wearing a helmet if you want to be extra careful.
Yeah.
I remember I
don't think I saw anyone wearing a helmet.
No, first of all, no one was wearing a helmet. Second of all, I remember I saw this woman who was sitting to the side, not holding on to anything, just looking at her phone.
The fuck?
And meanwhile, this motorcycle was just, it's just sitting there like, yeah, all right, tell me when we're here.
It makes like Jason Bourne really sad in the movies. And you see the stunts he's doing on a motorcycle. And you just see
Southeast Asians are like, that's just my commute.
Southeast Asian being like, damn, that's a nice ride.
Yeah, that's a pretty.
You get a whole motorcycle to yourself. Damn,
that's actually a pretty normal way for women to sit on the motorcycles. Because a lot of times, if they're wearing skirts, they don't like. They want to sit kind of like that because it looks a bit more elegant, and they don't need to expose their skirts
at
or
least
anything.
if I had to sit like that, I would at least hold on to something. This woman was just free hand, one hand on her phone. She looked like she was waiting for a doctor. It was just the most casual. Yep, all right. I know my life's in danger right now, but I really got to check Twitter.
There's this banger tweet.
There's this banger tweet. I have to retweet this right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely no matter how much I have described it in the past, there's nothing that can replicate the feeling of just the insanity of Southeast Asian roads and just how the rules work over there. It's a free for all, and it's always been a free for all, and kind of every taxi you go to, especially if you're a foreigner, they're gonna try to barter with you, and they're gonna try and get the best price possible.
Oh yeah, dude! I remember when you got us that taxi, dude. It was like the moment they saw us wanting a cab, 20 dudes spawned. And they were all shouting at you.
Yeah,
Garnt was like, I don't know who you were talking to. I think you were talking to the crowd, and you were just like, no. It was weird. It was just like, Garnt was like, I want a taxi.
Yeah.
It wasn't until a lot later, maybe because I was drunk, but it wasn't until a lot later I realized that they were all taxi drivers. I thought we were just getting jumped by 20 dudes. I was like, Garnt, you okay? And I was like, oh, they're all taxi drivers.
Yeah, because what happens is obviously I took them to a place called Asiatique, which
was sick, by the way.
Which is a really nice bougie place right by the river in Bangkok. But they needed to go home to their hotel. And so I know how it works. You go over, they see a group of tourists, and a group of NPCs basically will just spawn. It was crazy. And one of them comes up and goes 300 baht, and I'm like, do not talk to me. I am going to talk to the crowd. Can anyone in this crowd give me a better deal? And
dude, it was like at the Pantheon. It's just speak only if you are willing to speak.
Yeah, I'm like, I am not a tourist. I will not even attempt to take this number. Can anyone give me a better number? And as soon as I just ignored the guy, 2 other dudes would be like, we'll do it for half the price. And then I remember turning back to Connor, and I'm like, is this price okay for you? And Connor's like, go a bit lower. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like,
I wanted to see if he could barter the blower. I was like, I want to see how good this bartering is.
Right. Yeah. And so Connor's like, get it lower, and I was like,
I said they're not being cheap ass, by the way.
No.
You just don't want to be ripped off, right?
Because 90% of the time, I didn't want to have to deal with change anyway. I was like, just keep it
Okay,
all.
so
I
there's
just wanted to see how much he could barter them. I was curious for me.
Yeah.
It makes you seem like I'm like, no, I will not pay $5 for a taxi.
no, because like the thing is, no matter what price, if you agree on a price, basically, if you agree on a fixed price, it's always going to be higher than the metered price, no matter what. Otherwise, they will not. Like
it was like a 10, not even 10, like a 7-minute journey. It would have been like 50 on the meter.
Yeah, exactly. So no matter what you agree to, so it's kind of like the price you agree to just have the convenience of just being like, I can't be asked to deal with this bullshit. Let's just like agree for a price.
Just
right?
pay to win.
Pay. It's basically pay to win. So yeah, Connor, I kind of did him a bit dirty a little bit because I'm like, bro, come on. I'm tired, man. Come on, do me a favor.
Don't bullshit me.
Do me a favor, man. Like, you know, you can go a little bit lower because in Thailand and I'm sure most other Southeast Asian countries, if you're speaking their language and if you're off their nationality, then they're gonna do it a little bit lower. So I'm like, do it for your bro, man. Do it for your brother. And he's like, all right, 2 taxis just for you for that price that you want. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, all right, boys, get in the taxis. And I'm like pushing them to get in the taxis, and then everyone gets in the taxi. Me and Sydney are staying in another place because we're going back home.
Right.
And he's like, "Are you not getting in?" I'm like, "No, just take my friends." And I'm like, see ya, boys. That's kind of like, especially like the tourist culture in Thailand. You know,
there's no 50 as well. There's no 50 note. They have a 20 note. Right?
Oh, there is a 50.
There is a 50 note.
I did.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's the blue one.
I did not see this once.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not have any. These are mythical things I never saw. I genuinely feel
dude,
they didn't exist.
I collected those like Pokemon cards. Like, I have all the notes.
Because every time the ride was, we agreed on like 150.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wow, I can't ask him for 50 change after I just bartered him down. I feel kind of cheeky, you know what I mean?
Really?
So I was just like, just keep the 200. It's fine.
I was like, give me that fucking 50. It's like, I know you're already ripping me off.
I think we bought, at one point as well, I think we bought the most expensive pad thai.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We got scammed 100%. And I know if I told you I paid this much for pad thai, I think you'd kill me.
How much did you
How
pay?
much do you think I paid for pad thai?
Mind you,
it
was for probably, you know, like maybe that big.
I didn't know how big the pad.
So it's a family size.
I didn't know how much the pad thai was until after I bought it, and I was like, "Excuse me,
150."
Very cute, Garnt.
Dude, we paid 750 for a pad thai.
the soul is lit. What, 700? 700
baht? For those of you,
for
that's about $20.
That's a bit more than $20.
Yeah.
That's like
21?
$25.
I'm losing my fucking pad thai. Not here. Oh my god.
I knew when we paid it. The only thing I felt bad about was like, Garnt's gonna be so ashamed that we paid it. I didn't mind because I was like, hey, I don't mind getting scammed a little bit. The food was good.
It was great. It was good pad thai, to be fair.
I mean, all of it was good.
Yeah.
I don't think I had a bad pad. Maybe you'd thought it was bad pad thai too.
Yeah, right. I mean, pad thai is like pretty hard to fuck up because pad thai is the like I guess it's like the most kind of like common dish, especially when tourists comes in that they want to try. When I was like trying to show you around, I was trying to find a store that actually did some of the noodles that I liked, but every store was like, no, we only do pad thai here. And I'm like, okay, we're in a touristy area. I wanted to show you guys some other like more spicier, maybe less known noodle dishes. Especially like drunken noodles for some reason.
Yeah,
well,
I want to try that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, drunken noodles are normally sold where there's a lot of like dirty bars and stuff like that, which we didn't go to that time, but
next time.
Hopefully next time.
This episode is sponsored by Bokksu. Guys, it's approaching the end of winter, and you know what that means?
What does it mean?
Sakura season is just around the corner, baby.
Sakura season?
Yes.
Yes!
And the best way to celebrate Sakura season this year is with a Bokksu companion.
But what is a Bokksu?
I'll tell you. Bokksu delivers the experience of tasting authentic Japanese snacks, candies, and teas sourced directly from centuries-old small family businesses right to your door. Their mission is to empower Japan's traditional snack makers by sharing the authentic food and stories with the world.
It looks so delicious.
Look at all the sakura!
What's in the box? Go on, break it open.
Oh yeah,
This
you can
is
have
the
that one.
Yatsuhashi Senbei Black Sesame. Listen to this, boys.
Oh my god, this is delicious. Succulent.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm also glad I've already done an integration on my own channel because I get to eat the sakura mochi again. I feel heavenly.
If you're jealous of them and you want your own Sakura celebration and supporting this channel, click the link in the description and use our code TRASHTASTE to get $15 off your Bokksu order. Thank you to Bokksu for sponsoring this episode. This episode is sponsored by Harry's. You see this beard that I have grown right here? It's pretty disgusting. I know, you don't have to tell me in the comments. And for the longest time, I was thinking to myself, damn, why can't I find a good razor that can get rid of all of this disgusting man fluff? Well, luckily for me, I found the perfect solution. It's called Harry's. Harry's delivers razors right to your door with refills when you need them, and you won't have to replace your blade very often. They're as sharp on the 8th shave as they are on the 1st. The Trim and Shave trial set is a $15 value for just $3 at harrys.com/trashtaste. It includes a 5-blade German engineered razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover. Plus, you can schedule replacement blade delivery whenever you need them with refills as low as $2, my boys. Upgrade to a razor and skincare routine that will have you looking your best with Harry's. Get a $15 Truman Shave trial set for just $3 by going to harrys.com/trashtaste. That's harrys.com/trashtaste for a $3 trial set. Back to the episode.
But yeah, the reason these two boys came to Thailand to visit and everything was because I finally 100%ed my wedding, guys.
You had
The third one is done.
Your third wedding.
It's all done now. All of the family is appeased. No one is complaining anymore. Everyone has had a chance to go.
He has all the collectibles.
I literally have collected them all now. everything. But it's funny because this we decided to do like a traditional a traditional Thai ceremony. We could have just had like the reception, everything like that. But my parents were like, no, we want to do the traditional Thai ceremony just because you've never seen it.
Yeah.
So even though I'm like talking like about the Thai ceremony, and this is your guys' first Thai ceremony, it was also my first Thai ceremony as well.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like, it was, I don't know, it was a lot more, I guess, not free-flowing, it's not the right word. I guess more casual than I thought it was going to be. Because, you know, I've been to, like, traditional Japanese weddings.
Right.
And that's, like, you know, a 500-page script that you have to follow, right?
Yeah,
Whereas, like, this one felt like, like, as you said, it was a wedding, of course, but it was more like just a celebration of, like, family getting together and just, like, shooting the shit. Yeah. Which I think I really appreciated, because, like, I was expecting it to be, like, really super uptight and, like, very formal. And, you know, there were, like, obviously very formal parts of it, you know, like the Buddhist monk thing was like super freaking cool. Yeah. But then, you know, I had to do like 10 push-ups for you as well, which was weird.
Yeah. So to explain everything that kind of went down at this wedding. So normally you start off in the morning, and normally the morning is the part where you do the serious kind of blessings. That's right. We started off at about before anything, actually, these two boys asked me, what do I wear? Do I wear a suit or something like that?
I don't know what you wear to a Thai wedding.
Yeah. And I was like, no, wear a Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt, shorts and thongs. I was like, all right, you're speaking my language.
Exactly. I mean, it's hot enough in Thailand, man. We were like, no, nobody wears suits. We're going like all casual. The only one who really wore kind of a more traditional Thai attire was me and Sydney. So we had gotten dressed early in the morning, and even then, what I wore in my Thai wedding compared to what I wore in my other wedding in England was a lot less layers. It was just one kind of like traditional Thai suit and like very, very airy and baggy pants is how I would describe it.
It looked cool.
They were actually really comfy. Yeah. I kind of like, after I had the opportunity to get changed earlier in the day, but I was like, I kind of like this. I kind of like this right now.
It looks really cool too.
Yeah. But one thing I kind of like wasn't prepared for actually was This was like the only time that I had got my makeup done.
Yeah, I noticed you were wearing makeup, and I was like, "Wow, Garnt looks like he's been airbrushed."
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got Photoshop.
So is wearing makeup like a traditional thing, or is that something like your mom was like, "Hey, I got you hooked up"?
Honestly, you look whack as fuck, bro. Let me fix you up.
Yeah, I think for Thai weddings, most people want to look as good as you can in photos and everything like that. But the difference is most people don't trust themselves to make themselves look as good as they can.
Yeah.
So my mom hired like a makeup artist, and then the day before she was like, "Oh no, you're getting your makeup done as well." I'm like, "What? What? What do you mean I'm getting my makeup done?" And so yeah, I got my makeup done. I think, goddamn, I gotta say,
he
girls,
was eyebrows on fleek.
girls. Respect to you girls, man. Holy shit. Makeup is uncomfortable to wear.
yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh
Wait,
my
so you
God.
got just like, I think you got like your cheeks done and like your eyes a little bit?
And the lip gloss as well. The lip
the
gloss
lip
was the
gloss.
thing that like annoyed me the most, actually.
Yeah, you look like an ad.
Yeah, so I got ready and got my makeup done in the morning, and then the monks came at around 10 o'clock. And their ceremony, their praying blessing ceremony, lasts for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And basically they kind of just pray and give their blessings and everything like that. I mean, you boys saw
It was
the
very
monks as
cool to
well.
be a part of.
Yeah.
When they started singing, that was pretty hype.
It was.
That was fucking cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah, because I remember we were having this like ceremony, and obviously Sydney's parents and family were there as well. And my dad was like, "Oh, my Sydney's mum and dad was like, oh, that was such a beautiful such a beautiful ceremony to be a part of. Thank you for inviting us and showing us part of your culture and everything." And then Sydney's uncle was also there, and he just goes to me, "Man, those monks got bars." I was like, yeah. But it makes sense. It makes sense because I didn't realize this because I've been a monk and everything like that. I didn't realize this, but there's a certain rhythmic quality when they are praying and everything. Because there's how it works is there's normally one head monk that starts off a verse, let's say, and they say a few sentences, they chant a few sentences of this verse, and then everyone else joins in afterwards.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the whole reason why Buddhist monks pray is not because we're praying to a god or anything like that, because we don't have a god in Buddhism, but it's kind of to get us in the right mindset to meditate, to be a monk and everything. And I kind of realized after talking to Sydney's mum and dad why the prayer kind of has this effect, because when you're praying, when you have that kind of rhythmic prayer going on for like an hour, sometimes your mind kind of goes into this hypnotic state.
It's like a trance.
It's like a trance, kind of. And then that gets you into the right mindset to live the monk life and to meditate afterwards as well. And yeah, I think I'm really glad you boys got to experience it, because it can be like a very powerful experience sometimes, because we had 10 monks in just my house. But in a temple, especially when I was a monk, we had a temple with 100 monks.
Well, that sounds crazy.
So you're in the temple in this massive hall, and then you hear the head monk start praying. And in my temple, we needed to know all of the prayers by heart.
Right.
So I needed to memorize them. So I knew when the head monk starting a line, I would know when to come in, and I would know when to start praying as well. And you all join in, and the ambience and the sounds that just reverberates throughout the entire temple. It's something something I can't really explain via words, but it feels really, really powerful.
Oh yeah. Even just with the 10 monks in your house, like I mean, like the fact that everyone was just, very silent, and a lot of us were like closing our eyes and, just trying to like take it all in. It was like, I don't know. It felt very otherworldly, it was, cause Japan has a similar thing as well, in like funerals and stuff like that. But yeah, every time I hear, I don't know what it is. Every time I hear that sound, it just puts me like, I can just feel my body floating away, if that makes sense. It's just something about it. And you don't even have to like know the words
Yeah.
at all either.
I mean, they're not even speaking Thai.
Oh, really?
It's like I think the language is like Sanskrit. I don't know what the English translated name of it is, but it's like an ancient language. So yeah, they're not actually chanting Thai. It's a more older language, which is why you need to memorize it.
Right.
Which is why I needed to memorize it, because I don't actually know what they're saying. Basically I would say it's more equivalent to them chanting Latin if we were in like a European language. You know?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when I was supposed to pray. Because I was like, everyone's closing their eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah. So
because I want to be respectful.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
yeah.
that guy who's just sitting there while the monks are like, I'm like, all right, well, I'll. Even though I don't personally, believe in it, I'd still like to respect any of the culture, especially if they're inviting me. To go and experience
No, it was.
it.
I remember that actually. It was so funny because when they started chanting and most people in the room were starting to pray.
Yeah.
And I joined in, and I remember halfway through I looked up and your mom is just standing there with the phone like this.
That's what kept throwing me off.
And I'm like, are you not?
Yeah, that's what kept throwing me off. Is that it would be like, I think this is like a Southeast Asian thing where like moms and aunts just seem like unstoppable, and like it's like no matter what is happening, they will be doing what they want to do.
Yeah, I gotta get the shot.
And it's like it could be like the most important thing ever, and they'll be like, guys, get closer. I'm taking a shot. It's like, whoa. It's like, what? Are we done? Is this not like a religion thing?
It was such a power move.
No, I'll definitely get to that point, because being there definitely reminded me of one thing, which I'll get back to. But at the beginning, I was trying to like tell Sydney everything that she had to do, everything she could expect with the monk thing. And then when the monks got there, I'm just like, just follow my lead, Sydney. There's too much going on, because there's one thing I forgot to tell her about, which is at the end, we light a candle for the monk, and the monk like melts this wax onto like a bowl of water, which they will then kind of like spray onto us to give us their blessing, right? I knew this was going to happen because there's what do I call it? Like, not exactly spray, but there's a bunch of like sticks bundled up together that they will dip into the water. They will pray, bless the water, like then kind of flick it onto the crowd.
Sprinkle.
Yeah, like sprinkle. Sydney didn't know this. I knew this was coming, so I've done this ever since I was a kid, and so I knew when the monk is about to kind of spray everyone, just put your head down. Put your head down. Sydney didn't know this, so she was just praying in like a very nice kind of mindset. Gets a face full of water from the monk, and she's like,
she's in like Madame Tussauds.
Actually, because like we were kind of in the back of the whole thing when it happened, and of course none of us knew that was coming either. So I'm just like silently closing my eyes and praying, and then I get the AOE splashdown, just like fuck, and I'm like, is this a test? Like, am I supposed to just like remain calm? And then everyone's just getting like splashed. You didn't get it at all, right?
No, I didn't. I heard like Daidus and you kind of make a noise.
Yeah,
because I was behind you, so I didn't get anything. Luckily,
I was just like,
so you're in
you're in the splash.
I was in the splash zone. I was like, damn, that was a wide AOE, dude. I was just like, oh my god.
And then there's a few other ceremonies and stuff, and there's one thing with like your elders or something. I didn't quite understand what it was.
So after the monk thing, there's this ceremony. Then we get to the fun part. There's a ceremony which is called Ganmak, which, how can I describe this ceremony? The best way I can describe it, it's kind of like replicating old ancient traditions where you present the groom to the household of the brides, right? So what happens is you separate the two households, you separate the two families, which is what we did. Sydney's family was in my house, and we had walked to our neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And
if you can call that a house.
If you can call that a house, yeah. Some of our neighbors got pretty wild with their houses.
It's more like a Disneyland looking place.
It was kind of wild. Yeah. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. And so what happens is you separate the two houses. You have the groom side and you have the bride side. And the whole concept is all the groom side has to come together to help the groom kind of be able to prove to the bride's family that they are worthy to marry the bride.
Right. It was basically an escort mission.
It was an escort mission. We went. My parents went full force with it. They hired traditional dancers and traditional musicians.
So cool.
So we separated the houses, and then you started off with kind of like a King Kong Tarzan kind of chant, That starts off the
drums are smacking.
The drums are smacking. But at the front there, we had some traditional Thai dancers. It felt super weird.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Crazy.
It was so fun though.
They were just go here, guy.
Yeah.
Hold this thing. I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Connor, me, and Daidus were given a plate of desserts or something. It was just hold this, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And then the drums start playing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're going.
Yeah, and so basically my boys just escorted me to the bride's house, right? And so you stop at the gate, and I thought I was meant to talk, but no, my mother was apparently doing the all the talking.
This is your mom's. I was like, let her do
it's like, step aside, son. I got
step
this.
aside, son. And she has to kind of negotiate with the households to kind of let us into the house.
Right.
And with this procession, there are 3 gates, and there are different trials that we need to do at each gate.
And these trials are picked kind of not really at random, but I guess picked by the groom's house. The bride's household, right?
The bride's house. So there are different, how it traditionally is, because families are so big, you'll have different members of the bride's house guarding each gate, and they will ask the groom to do whatever they desire, and there's not anything on paper where traditionally you need to do this. It's just whatever they feel like asking for, right? It's kind of
shit yourself.
kind of like a little forfeit, basically.
Yeah, right.
And so at the first gate, my family, I was asked to shout, I love Sydney as loud as I can.
Bear in mind, there's 100 people all crowding around.
This is
a lot of people.
Yeah, this is a lot of people. You get escorted to the first gate. You get asked. I got asked to shout out "I love Sydney" so she can hear. She can hear me because Sydney right now, she's not outside. She's inside the house.
Right.
That's how it's meant to be. It's kind of like you're with your bros and you're invading a castle, that's kind of how it's meant to feel.
It's like some West Side Story shit.
It's
just here I come.
Because I remember saying it kind of feels like we're storming a castle right now.
But there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people.
I'm pretty sure your neighbors just joined in. I don't even know who these people were.
Yeah. That was pretty easy. And then the second one, the second gate was a bit more tricky because my family member was like, you're not doing this alone. You got to get your bros involved with this one.
I was like, no, I'm holding the desserts, woman. Can't you see that I'm a dessert holding gentleman? I do not want to involve myself in such frivolous activity.
Yeah, and so she was like, okay, you do 10 push-ups, Joey do 10 push-ups, and Connor dance. And
I was like, why? Why do I have to dance?
Yeah, because at first it was like, go and do 10 push-ups, and we're all like, yeah, let's go, not knowing that we're about to be involved, right?
Yeah,
and then she's like, another 10. And the Garnt's like,
I'm like, because the boys didn't know anything about.
No, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. I'm just like, boys, you got to do this for me, boys, please.
I'm just holding the dessert.
Yeah.
So I did the 10 push-ups, and then, fucking Connor and Daidus are laughing at me, right? Thinking that they're gone scot-free.
Yeah.
And then one of them was like, now one of you dance.
Yeah, I was like,
be our clown. And so Connor, it was the weirdest thing. I wish I'd filmed this part because it was this bizarre situation of us and 100+ Thai people around us all watching Connor Fortnite dance.
I just started Fortnite dance.
It's like a dreamscape. I'm just like, I can't believe this is actually happening.
Yeah, because it really did feel like we were storming a castle, except Connor was just Fortnite dancing in front of the gates because there was this one
interrogating the guards.
There was this one very small bridge between the outside and the inside of the house that was over a pond, right? And so Connor was just by himself on this bridge in front of like 100 of like my Thai family, just like Fortnite dancing.
And I'm like, I'm so glad I opted
like,
to do the push-ups.
Fucking monks just left watching me. You know, we've got these traditional Thai dancers. And there's these dudes playing these Thai instruments. Meanwhile, it's just a white guy dancing, wearing jeans on a fucking bridge in front of 100 Thai people.
It was so funny.
Such a weird experience.
Yeah, but thankfully my bros had my back.
Yeah, you got
You're welcome.
Yeah, I got in the second gate, and then the last gate was, of course, guarded by Sydney's family. And they asked me to sing.
Oh, yeah.
Sing the song that I sang for my very first dance with Sydney, which I'm pretty sure I sung really, really badly.
It's fine.
But it didn't
It was
matter.
fine.
Oh, I forgot to mention, even though you had to do these trials, it's normally ended with a little bit of a bribe. That's
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
Thank God they
did you know? Because did you notice like when they were like, "Okay, you're worthy," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you," and I gave them like an envelope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
remember this, you bribed. Yeah. I was like, I like this culture. Yeah.
Money, all I can say is, money talks. Right? You can be the most worthy man in the world, but a little bit of
Embarrass yourself and give us money.
What if you had to like barter? You're like, best I can do is $10.
that happens actually. That happens.
Really?
Yeah, that happens.
Best I can do is $10.
It's like, all right, 8.
Yeah,
Take it or leave it. Boys, we're packing it up.
Yeah.
Squat out.
We didn't do this for our wedding, but my mom was like, traditionally, sometimes it really depends on the feeling of whoever's guarding the gate. Sometimes if they're feeling like, oh, this doesn't look like enough money, you slip an extra like 100, 200 baht or something like that.
That's so funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's just like
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all for fun, very casual. And then after that is where you had like the adult blessing ceremony, which is kind of what you see with this.
Yeah.
So what happens is you go into another room and the immediate family all take a seat, right? And the basic premise is everyone who is part of your immediate family who is an elder to you gets to bless your marriage, which everyone takes one of these strings, gives their blessings, and then literally like ties a knot for both me and for Sydney.
Right.
Now, I didn't know how long this was going to last because because I was
You got a lot of elders.
at the beginning. I was like, Joey, Connor, Daidus, Emily, come in, have a look, and they saw, both of our parents blessing us, tying the knots.
Yeah.
And then I forgot to tell them that my entire family who was sitting down waiting their turn, they're going to come up and bless me as well. So you were there standing there for like, 15 minutes or something?
It was a while.
It was a while.
It was like 15, 20 minutes before I was like, oh yeah, you guys go away for now. It's okay because we're going to be here for a while.
We're 1/10 of the way through right now.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh shit. All right.
So as you can see, I like the ceremony and everything, but I'm glad that mostly it was just my family there.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of Sydney's family is in America. Because if Sydney's family was there, we would have been there for fucking hours.
Like your whole arm. would have been
My
covered.
whole arm.
Double thighs.
Yeah, because like everyone got the chance to give their blessing, and you can always tell when you've been to like a Thai wedding because this is kind of like a just married kind of symbol. Because you can tell Southeast Asian families, their arm just gets filled up. And
I was gonna say most people when they go to Southeast Asia and they come back, they only have a bunch of bands or something.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a meme, right?
Lots of bracelets.
There was like some other ceremony where I think it was something to do with elders, but it wasn't your dad. And then your dad was talking to me,
Right.
And everyone was being really quiet. And I was like, "Is it okay for you to talk this loudly to me?" And then eventually your mom came up and was like, "Shut up."
yeah. That's right.
And I was like, to your dad.
Yeah.
Because it was like everyone was quiet in this room watching one of your family like blasting you or something, and then your dad just turns around and he goes, "How are you enjoying Thailand so far?" And I was like, "Oh well, I just
Not
kinda,
even like a whisper. Like
quite
normal,
loudly." And I was like, "Is it okay for us to talk?" I was like, "Well, it's pretty good." Are you okay?
You know your son's getting married right in front of you. You should probably pay attention to that.
That's so funny. He was just so chill. He was like, oh, whatever. Like,
I think after my dad got his blessing out of the way, it's
he
like,
was like,
my time. It's like, I'm getting the party started.
Yeah.
And then, like, in the meanwhile, like, there's literally a line of my elders just waiting to do it, and my dad's just like, we're gonna be here a while. Let's just
talking. I was like, oh my god.
And then there was the one after where with the water pouring one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So after I got all my elders' blessing, then we have the chance for everyone else who came to their wedding to give their blessings as well. And so what happens is me and Sydney sat down, and we had kind of like we had like a vase with a flower in front of us, and what the concept is that people can pour water over our hands and bless us for the start of a new marriage.
A lot of blessings.
Yeah, a lot of blessings.
In Thai weddings.
A lot of blessings. Every we are very blessed in Thai weddings.
You blessed.
We bless the hell out of blessed. Yeah. And you know, everyone lines up once again, and they take a kind of like not a bucket of water, but just a little like vase of water, and just pour it over our hands, and you can say whatever you want. Me and Sydney were there for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The part that I thought was kind of funny was that like I think it was your mom or your aunt that said, like, you know, to all the English speakers who were there, like us, was like, okay, so you all have to line up in order from oldest to youngest. And I'm like, I don't know 90% of the people here. How the fuck am I supposed to know who's older and younger than me? So I'm just like, I'll just wait till the end. Don't worry about it. You guys can all go ahead. But like, I remember I didn't know that we had to like say something to you guys, right? Like as we were pouring the water. So it got to my turn and I'm just like, oh fuck, I haven't thought about what to say to you guys. I don't remember what I said to you. I said to Sydney, I'm just like thinking what to say, and I think I ended up just saying, have a good life. And I'm like, that sounds like a threat.
Enjoy the next 24 hours.
It's like I didn't mean it to say it like that. I'm just like, I didn't know what to say, and I'm just like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Sorry.
Have a good life. I remember that, actually.
I was like, have a good life. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Yeah. No, it was good though.
Yeah, but like, oh fucking man, I remember because we were sitting there for so long, just getting blessed. I remember turning to Sydney and I was like, this is the weirdest signing ceremony I've ever been to. Because it literally felt like a signing session at a convention, except everyone was just washing my hands. So many people washed my hands at this one ceremony that my hands were wrinkly by the end.
No.
I had clean.
You got the prune hands.
Yeah, I had the prune hands all the way.
Jesus.
But yeah, after that, everything was over, and I guess that's when the party started. Yeah.
I remember when we were waiting to do this water thing. And is he your little cousin or something?
Yeah, my little cousin.
This kid, this 10, 11-year-old Thai kid speaks to me in like a flawless American accent. And he was talking to me and I was like, how do you have an American accent? He was like, oh, I watch a lot of South Park and Family Guy. And I was like, how old did you say you were again? He's like, I'm 11. I'm like, all right. Well, if you're learning American, then I'm sure that's good.
Yeah.
He was so funny, the kid. He was so cool.
God, I'm like, this being at this family gathering, being at this wedding, kind of like opened my eyes a lot because I talked to a lot of my younger family members. One, I realized that a lot of my younger cousins, initially they were like, oh, I watch a lot of YouTube. I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I talked to them a bit more about who they watch or who their favorite content creators were. And 90% of my cousins were like, oh, I watch VTubers.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I remember that because one of your cousins that was sitting with us for quite a while, was a really cool kid, overheard that conversation. And he turned to me and he went, what's a VTuber? And I was like, no. You are the last innocent mind. Your mind will not be tainted.
Don't do it.
Don't do it to yourself. It's like, promise me you will not look it up after this wedding.
Oh, there was this really awkward moment where I was having a conversation with my cousin and my uncle was standing next to him as well. Yeah. And he was telling me about how he watches YouTube and something like that. And then he says that he watches VTubers. And then like a minute after that conversation ends, my uncle comes up to me and he goes, can you explain why like he's always spending this stuff on his bank account? I don't understand. Like he's spending a lot on YouTube. I don't understand. And I was just
no.
like, oh no.
He's red super chatting. He's red super chatting.
Oh no!
I was like, oh no, uncle. I don't know how to explain this to you.
So there's this girl,
And
right?
even if I did, it wouldn't help.
There's this girl, they're real, but they're not real.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But I also realized, I also had the realization of why I am so adamant on not taking pictures wherever I go. And I realized this because it's kind of like, maybe like a kind of trauma.
I already know what you're going to say.
Or maybe like a kind of trauma that has stuck with me. And this kind of like made me remember why I hate taking photos. It's because at every family gathering, everyone wants to take a photo, and there is never an opportunity to not take a photo.
Yeah.
Your aunt was going insane.
Yeah.
Her camera roll must go on for like years.
Terabytes.
Yeah, because at this wedding, I was like, taking a few photos, and every single time I took a photo, like 3 more aunts or 3 more uncles are just like, can we take a photo as well? Can we take a photo? And then so me and Sydney were posing for a lot of this day. Meanwhile, remember, we're in like a full like Thai traditional suit and get up and everything.
Yeah.
Like, Sydney was like sweating her ass off. So we were just standing there taking photos. And as soon as we thought we had a moment to breathe, we'd walk 5 paces and then someone would be like, can we take a photo? Can we take another photo? And we'd be like, yes, okay.
If you must.
Yeah, if you must. And I remember this was just how it was growing up for me. I've grown up with this sense that no matter where I go with people, someone's going to take a photo. So I don't need to take a photo. So this is, I guess I remember now why I never take photos. It's because in my mind, I'm like, someone's always there to take a photo, and there are going to be way too many
There's
photos.
always an aunt or an uncle around the corner ready to take a photo.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
I'm glad you guys got to see my house in Thailand. Glad you got to see...
Yeah, because I remember about that. Because I remember like you were like, all right, so meet up at the venue at X amount of time. And so, we told the taxi driver to like take us to this venue.
Yeah.
And they're taking us through these like back streets. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really confusing.
where is this venue?
Yeah.
And then I realized your venue is just your house. And I'm like, why did you say venue? You could have just said house and I would have been less confused, because along this road, it was the weirdest road, right? Because it's like, I guess we entered like kind of the nicer back streets where like there's like tons of like huge mansions with like extraordinarily like large ponds and lands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a thing in Thailand, but there were so many statues of pop culture figures on the streets.
Yeah, there was a
like
there was like a 6-foot bust of Captain America.
Yeah.
In front of someone's house.
I had to double take so many times.
Full on. Like, Captain America's just his like from his abs to his head, 6-foot statue of that.
And then there was like this like maybe 3 or 4 foot tall like Mario like porcelain statue.
Yeah. I think it is just maybe not traditionally part of Thai culture, but just
all right.
but
really.
just sometimes Thai people, especially people around me, sometimes if you can just grab a cool little like ornament or like artifact or something like that, no matter how out of place it is, you just put it there.
Yeah, because I remember
How
I
did you get a 6-foot bust?
Yes,
I have no
that's what I wanted. I'm like,
idea.
where? I'm like, did you make that?
Yeah.
Like, because I remember I told that story to one of your cousins, and I told him about the Mario one, and he was like, oh yeah, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, didn't even get Dr. Mario? Like, you fucked up. Like, it doesn't explain why he has a Mario in the front of his mansion.
Yeah, I think you just put it that like one of my other neighbors has a fucking Jurassic Park theme gate or something like that.
Yeah,
And
Daidus and I went walking in your neighborhood, right? And we just walked past this gate, and I'm like, I'm not tripping. That's the Jurassic Park logo on the gate. And then I look over at the wall and it clearly says Jurassic Park. And I'm like, where am I? What is Thailand anymore? It was so weird. Oh,
yeah,
so cool though.
Yeah, sometimes, at least from my family and people I know, sometimes Thai people, especially when they're trying to like build a house or put some cool things or kind of try to get a way to stand out, they would just take a random thing from America or British films or whatever and just put it in their house. Doesn't match the aesthetic, doesn't match the vibe at all. Sometimes you're just walking past the house and you see a random Mario statue. Doesn't make any sense at all, but that's just the way things are. It's just
like your neighbor's house that we started that the ceremony in, like looked like every country put into one place. Like there was like an Amsterdam inspired windmill next to a river, and then there was like a very traditional like Southeast Asian house, and then there was just straight up like a concrete block that looked like something out of like Eastern Europe, and I'm like, what is this place? Like, what's the theming? Like, how did
it's very unusual.
Like, how did the guy tell the architect, being like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and the guy's like, you want it all in the same property, right? He's like, yeah.
Kind of feels like a theme park, you know, because they're just like, I'll just have a little bit of everything. Why not? Why not?
I thought it was a theme park, and then your cousin was like, oh no, this is the neighbor's house. I'm like, what does your neighbor do?
It was insane. It was very impressive.
It was so weird.
Yeah. Thankfully, none of my family served you boys beer with ice cubes in it.
Yeah,
I was expecting it.
You know what they did do though that I thought was unacceptable.
What?
I was like, "Could I have a beer, please?" And so he gives me a beer. And he gives me a straw. A straw for a canned beer. I was like, no, thank you. Like, what? What is this? Why do they drink beer out of a straw? What is this? Can you explain?
Some people just do that.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
I don't know why.
What the fuck? You can't drink beer out of a straw?
I think it's fucked up as well. I don't know. Those ain't my guys.
They're not my mans.
They're not my mans.
I don't think there was a moment where like in the 72 hours where I was in Thailand where I wasn't disgustingly full. I think I was full constantly.
I think every moment I was with these boys, because I only got to take care of these boys, one at my wedding and one another day when I could show them around. I think every hour I was with these boys, we were eating something.
Dude, because everything's so good.
Yeah.
Nothing missed.
I remember at the wedding, I think your aunt brought out these like satay, like chickens on a skewer or
Chicken
something.
satay, yeah.
The chicken satay skewers, and they were bomb. Dude, I swear, I saw Connor eat like 50 of those. Like, not even over exaggerating.
hungry.
I think he actually ate like 4 full plates of that shit.
I ate a lot, and they just kept bringing them over when I finished, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I can't let them go to waste."
See, I thought Connor wasn't eating much because I was like talking to my family and everything, and every time I'd come to like your table, Connor had a full plate of satay.
They kept bringing it.
Connor had a full plate of satay every time, so I just assumed, it's the same plate.
No, he was just eating it so fast that you didn't see it.
And then like, even though I was full, they started making other food, and I was like, "Well, I have to try it."
Yeah.
Oh,
So
dude,
I-
the moment you came back with the gapow rice, I was just
the
like,
whole like I was so full, and I still ate a whole kapow. And dude, the question I got the most in Thailand every single fucking time I got any food, they were like, "Are you sure it's spicy?" They asked me this every food I ordered. They were like, "Are you sure this is spicy?" Yes, I'm sure. Give it to me. On the airline, any fucking stall for pad thai that wasn't even spicy. They're like, "Are you sure it's spicy?" I was like, "No, it's fine. I can eat it. I wouldn't have ordered it if I couldn't."
oh my god.
But because like Thailand, you just assume everything is spicy. I remember I took these boys to like kind of like a casual place where they serve like barbecue pork and some chicken and stuff like that. Came with 3 sauces. And I remember Joey and Daidus asking me, is this like different spice levels? And I'd been abroad for so long, so I assumed it was just different spice levels. And then we were all like progressively trying like the 3 different sauces, trying to figure out which one was the spiciest one, right? And then Joey was like, I think the middle one's the spiciest one. Dad is like, I think the left one's the spiciest one. And then I tried it, and I'm like, wait, I think they were all the same amount of spice. I think it's the difference is the sweetness of them, actually, which just goes, in Thailand, there's only one level of spice. Yeah. It's just spicy.
It's just spicy.
Yeah, Dom was sweating nonstop.
Oh my
god.
Dom, bro, he was just wet.
The squid like dish that you guys had at your wedding.
Oh yeah,
that was spicy.
Yeah, that was probably the spiciest one. I mean, you know, like had a kick to it, but you know, I was fine. Connor was fine. I guess Daidus really likes squid.
Yeah.
And he put maybe half of his plate full of that squid, not knowing that it was the spiciest thing.
Yeah.
Dog, after he finished it, he looked like he just came out of a sauna. He was
full
like
on dripping.
physically dripping in
It was
sweat.
so funny.
I'm like, are you okay? Did you just like run a half marathon? Like, you look pooped.
Yeah, I mean, because I was telling this to Joey earlier because I was surprised. I think you've gotten like a lot better at handling your spice compared to when
I surprised
first met you.
myself. To be fair.
Because you handled a lot of the Thai food pretty well.
Yeah.
But I remember saying, I think with Thai food, there's like a perfect amount of spice with certain dishes. People will just make dishes with the amount of spice that it has, and you can ask for it to be less spicy. But I think by asking it to be less spicy, you're removing some of the flavor out of it.
Oh, for sure.
You're also asking it to be less tasty.
Yeah, you're asking for it to be less tasty. They can make it less spicy, but the reason there's always going to be a little bit of spice in it, even if you ask for Thai food to be less spicy, is because I think there is just a perfect amount of spice level for this food that makes it the optimal taste. And that, unfortunately, is too spicy for a lot of people.
So good, though.
Yeah, but
So
it's
good.
Yeah.
I was just full the whole time.
Yeah.
24/7.
I do. So I have a change of heart over one thing.
Okay.
So after about 3 days in Thailand. By the way, there wasn't a single day in Thailand where I did not have the most horrendously spicy food. When the moment me and Sydney stepped off the plane, we were just like, just go to town. Just go to town. Give us all of the spicy food that we can't get in Japan. And so by day 3, my asshole was crying.
Dude, I was struggling.
Yeah.
I would shit like 10 times a day and it would hurt every time.
Yeah.
My asshole was like Mount St. Helena.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was so sore.
And so here I am at my house sitting on my toilet, and I was having one of those shits where it was like the sweats that came with it. You know that
take your shirt off.
Yeah. It was that kind of.
It was
And I remember just sitting down and I reached over for the bidet. And it wasn't there. And I was just like, if there's one country that needs a bidet, it's Thailand. Why is it not here right now?
When you know the spice they use, I'm shocked that they don't like clean their butthole.
Yeah.
Do people just get used to it? Are their poops normal? Or is everyone pooping like that?
Or maybe in Thailand, the general consensus is, poops are painful, right?
Like
That's the default.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I ever got used to it. I was
fighting for my life.
Yeah, you just get used to like fighting for your life. We do have a sort of like bidet kind of thing in Thailand, but that didn't do it.
Dog, it's just a hose.
Yeah, literally.
It's literally a hose attached to the side.
I needed a precision sniper right to where
I wasn't trying to like fully shower my ass cheeks.
Yeah.
You needed to call Golgo 13 for that shit.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Like, that was not gonna work.
Yeah, they had like a hose. You could shotgun your ass. I needed a precision sniper right where the area that was on fucking fire, and it just wasn't there. So the first thing I did was I'm like, Mum, can I buy a bidet for this house, please? I kind of feel like I need it.
Mind, guys.
I need it. Okay, in Thailand, I need a bidet. God damn it.
Man,
oh man,
I'm glad you've changed your mind.
Yes,
I was worried that you'd.
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, no bidet gang forever. I'm glad you're modernized.
Yeah, but where else did you guys go? Like, what areas did you guys?
So the day after the wedding, the day you didn't join us, we obviously went to the big marketplace, which is super cool. I mean, like I don't think we even explored like 10% of that place because it's just so massive.
Yeah.
But that's where we paid $25 for a pad thai.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that place.
Okay,
so we paid that and we were like, all right, well, let's get out of here before we get scammed more.
Yeah.
So we went to the Siam Paragon, I think.
Paragon.
Yeah, the Siam Paragon, which is like a kind of a mall nearby. Did a bit of shopping there. And then, I guess just for the rest of the night, we were just chilling.
We went to that bar in the Hangover.
Yeah, because when I heard that you guys were staying in Lebua, I was like, oh, you guys are staying in, it's one of the most famous hotels in Bangkok, specifically because that's the hotel where they filmed The Hangover 2. That scene at the end where the helicopter comes on the rooftop, that's the bar that it's filmed at. And I know this because I assume everything there was horrendously overpriced.
Oh my God.
Specifically because this is where The Hangover 2 took place.
Dude, we were looking at the menu and Emily's like, oh, I think I'm going to get this drink. I'm like, Emily, that's $100 drink. She was like, I'm not going to get that drink. The cheapest drinks they had were 40 USD.
Right.
For like a gin and tonic.
Yeah, we paid $40 for a gin and tonic.
Just because we wanted to see the view. We were like, one drink, we'll check out the view, we'll bounce. Because you're on the like 65th floor overlooking the whole city.
To be
and
fair,
it was cool.
the view was amazing.
But
you're definitely
prices,
paying
dude.
for the view, not
fuck
for the drink.
those prices.
I mean, at least it was one of the strongest gin and tonics I had. So I guess,
it wasn't
maybe
worth it.
They were trying to level it out, but I'm like, it's still $40. And I'm like, I'll just take a couple of pictures up here and then I'm good, But
was the hotel worth it?
No. I didn't like
their room was buggy as hell. I don't know.
Dude, like our hotel room, it was like if you want to take a shower,
it
was just like every 5 seconds was a quick time event because you had to change the temperature because it would just scold you randomly. You need to keep changing it. I was like, what the fuck?
See, I didn't have that problem at all.
The Wi-Fi was like ass, which is whatever. But there was like TVs missing. What else? They like lost our bags at one point. Dude, it was a nightmare. I was
Good to know.
And it was so expensive.
Yeah, because I've never stayed at that hotel before because it is one of the most expensive hotels in Bangkok because like I said, simply because of the Hangover II, simply because of the marketing they got for that, it's like that price is rocketed.
It is high price for Thailand. It's like $200 a night.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, in the UK, that gets you nothing.
Yeah.
That doesn't even get you an Airbnb.
No, that doesn't get you anything in the UK.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'll pay $200 and get like a really nice room.
Yeah.
Thinking it was going to be like goated, and it was not very good.
Okay. I get there are probably a lot better hotels that you can get for a lot cheaper.
Honestly, that first hotel.
Yeah, we stayed in this other hotel that was closer to Garnt's house for the wedding, and that was like I think $40 or $50 a night. And it was so good. It was so much better.
It was the most godly bed.
And like the bed was amazing, the service was super good, and then we ordered room service, and the room service was so cheap. It was like $5 for like all the mains. What the fuck? And we thought, it must suck. So we ordered it. It was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I ordered green curry that cost like 180 baht.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? How does that make any sense? How are they making money?
Okay, that's good to know because
The hotel's really good.
Yeah. Just because I have never stayed in Le Bourg. I've always been curious because it's the most expensive one. But
the breakfast was good though.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I don't really think it's worth it, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. Next time you go, we'll
go to a different.
We'll get a different.
We'll
one.
stay at that first hotel. Honestly, that place is.
There's I know some like pretty good hotels that are a bit less than Le Bourg, but like even better than the other hotel.
Okay,
I recommend it for you guys.
I think 3 days was a pretty good amount though. I felt like I kind of had, especially the food.
Yeah,
I think my stomach was like begging me to stop.
Yeah,
so I think 3 days was perfect.
How does anyone stay in shape in Thailand? Like I would be fat as fuck if I lived in Thailand for like more than a month, dude.
Because you get all the mango smoothies.
Yeah.
There's mangoes everywhere. There's coconuts everywhere.
Coconuts everywhere.
Dude, I hate so much coconut ice cream, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, the fresh coconut ice cream is so good. It's so good that Daidus, Dom didn't even know that it was like coconut ice cream.
Yeah.
The first time he ate it.
The first time he ate it, he was like, I didn't know what it was. Because it's just white ice cream, right? And I'm like, oh, what flavor is that? And he's like, I think it's vanilla. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean you think it's vanilla? I had a scoop and I'm like, this is clearly coconut. And he's like,
he hates coconut.
And he hates coconut with a passion.
He hates coconut with a passion. I was like, Don, this is coconut. And he's like, yeah, I didn't really like it. I'm like, you ate the whole thing though.
You fucking liar.
You're such a fucking liar. How does your brain operate?
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed the Thai sausage though.
That was so good.
As the biggest
I love
sausage connoisseur.
I fucking love sausages.
Yeah.
As any JoJo fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, if you ever had Thai sausage, it doesn't taste like a normal sausage. It's very spicy, very flavorful.
As it is.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like it wasn't, I don't know, man, what's the word? It doesn't have that super nice bite to it that some sausages have.
Yeah.
But the flavors of the spices in it were insane.
Yeah, it kind of made me seeing you. I was gonna say seeing you enjoy that sausage. It kind of like being back in Thailand kind of made me realize why Thai cuisine is the way it is. Just because compared to more developed countries, the meat quality isn't the best.
Yeah.
Right. But we kind of make up for that by just making the flavors so strong.
For sure.
It's kind of almost the opposite of Japanese cuisine. Japanese cuisine is all about letting the meat quality, letting the quality of the ingredients kind of do their work.
Yeah.
Letting natural flavors take over.
sure.
Thai is more like, how many fucking spices can we put in this? Give me more spices. More.
Hey, it works. It works.
it
all right?
works, yeah.
Let him cook. Let him
Hold up.
let him cook.
No, so good.
Yeah.
I heard online before you go to Thailand, you weren't supposed to drink the tap water or avoid ice.
Yeah.
It was impossible to avoid ice. Ice was in everything. They put ice in everything.
So this is more of like in the rural areas.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's also on the food stalls.
In the food stores, if you buy stuff on the food and they have a bucket full of ice or something, that's probably from tap water. But if you're in a mall or if you're in the hotel or the ice I got at my wedding, that's ice that we've specifically bought that has been purified.
I mean,
ice.
I thought I was going to get hit for sure with the amount of mango and watermelon smoothies I was drinking, but I was good this time. I pulled the good RNG.
Yeah, you pulled the good RNG.
Thank God.
Yeah, every time we'd go to a food store and one of these guys would ask me, Garnt, is this safe? And I'm like, gonna be honest, you're playing RNG. It's like, but it's banging food. It's banging food. But
you're about to pull the food poisoning gotcha. Hopefully you get something good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad you guys enjoyed the food tour.
10 out of 10.
Really good.
Yeah.
Thai food is as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
Which is good to know.
This episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And trust me, this is coming from a kid who doesn't even know how to make toast correctly. I wish I was joking. HelloFresh now has 40 weekly recipes to choose from, so you can say bye-bye to your recipe rut and treat yourself and your family to exciting new flavors every week. No matter your lifestyle or meal preferences, HelloFresh has recipes sure to please everyone at your table. From fit and wholesome to veggie or family friendly, you'll always find something even the pickiest eaters will enjoy. And you can customize select meals by swapping proteins or sides, or even adding protein to a veggie dish in case you're hitting it up at the gym like me. You know what I'm saying, gentlemen? Honestly, since I've started going back to the gym again and trying to, build an upper body that doesn't look like a toothpick, HelloFresh has really helped me to maintain my protein intake, because sometimes it's really difficult to do so, especially if you want a delicious meal. Thankfully, HelloFresh is there to give me a delicious and protein-filled meal to boot. So go to hellofresh.com/trash65 and use code TRASH65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Again, I'll repeat it because it's such an amazing meal. Go to hellofresh.com/trash65 and use code TRASH65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Back to the show.
One thing I realized is that everyone in my family could fucking sing. And then every time me and Sydney went up to sing, we did.
Watching the crowds just go like, oh. And when Sydney started singing, because Sydney would just scream.
It was so funny. Just like, there was one point during the karaoke night where like you and Sydney went up to sing Champagne Supernova by Oasis.
Yeah.
And you were a couple of drinks in, Sydney was shit-faced. And you both only slightly remembered the lyrics, so you were kind of like looking at each other being like, you can cover for me for this part, right? And I remember I'm just like watching Garnt trying to sing and Sydney screaming her brains out, and I look over and there's just about 50 Thai people just like
The elders.
You know what? I don't know what they're singing, and I don't know what the fuck I'm being subjected to, but at least they're having fun. It was so funny.
We're just gonna sit here in silence and be like, hey.
So many clueless people
Having
just being
fun.
like, is this how the song's supposed to sound? Or
Yeah, they were like,
Even from Malay weddings, those random people are just there for the free food.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, like this was we had about 100 people at this Thai wedding
many.
in the morning at least. That's pretty small. That's a pretty.
oh, you guys need to have like a list.
that's
You guys need to like separate. Come on.
You got to get an RSVP.
which is why
going on,
like
dude.
I'm so like it's kind of a meme now how many weddings I've had, but I'm very glad that I did, because just the amount of times just the amount of people I was talking about, even just at my Thai wedding, and Sydney's family is as big as my family as well, maybe even actually a bit bigger. if we had combined our families and our friends into one wedding, I wouldn't have been able to see you guys at all.
Bro, I mean, it's kind of a flex, right? You're the only person I know who's, you know, had multiple weddings and one wife. So it's pretty.
I'm taking that one. I'm taking that one. I'm taking that one.
It's like, how many weddings have you had? 3. How many wives have you had? 1. It's like, oh shit. All right, cool. Oh man.
But yeah.
Thank God you're both not halfus, otherwise you would have had like 5.
Oh my
4 or
God,
5
yeah.
Oh God,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Actually, there was this funny moment where I was introducing my mum to Emily and Dom, Daidus, and I was like, oh yeah, she's Emily is born up, grown in American. Her family is Korean. You know, Dom is half Cambodian, half American, and she's like, oh, and Joey's like, oh yeah, like I'm half Japanese, half
Whatever the fuck.
half Australian as well, and they were like, oh, there's 2 halfus, and my mum was like, oh, Garnt's a halfu as well, and I was like, Mum, what? I'm full Thai. What are you talking about?
Yeah, everyone there was like, do you need to tell Garnt something? Or it's like, what?
Like, Mum, what the fuck?
Like, all right, guys. Full white here.
Full white.
Extremely so, actually.
Oh man. Oh yeah, dude, your mom was having the time of her life. She she looked like she was having so much fun.
Yeah, she definitely lost her voice at the end.
Oh yeah. She sounded like she'd smoked like 40 packs at the end of the night. She was like, "Do you guys have fun?" And I was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Fucking hell.
I went like full Thai Marge Simpson for a bit.
She had a good time. She had a good time.
Had a very, very, very good time.
Oh man.
But hopefully next time maybe we can, maybe we can film a special or something there next time as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd like to see you guys try Thai boxing or something like that.
Yeah, we just got to bring bidets. That's all.
Yeah,
Yep.
just bring
Look at
next time you come to my house, there'll be bidets.
Thank
Full on
God.
bidets
Thank
God.
at my house.
Needed.
Yeah.
Sorely needed. I nearly died.
What?
Context, please.
That's it. Clickbait.
Did we just get clickbaited?
Clickbait. I nearly died on my way to the airport. Okay, so I was filming a video I was filming a video that day before we got the flight. Because we got a flight at midnight.
Yeah.
So we rocked up at like 6 a.m. and then had the wedding at 10 a.m. It was like we packed this in.
Oh
Yeah.
And
Well, you packed it in.
well, it was mainly me. That's what and everyone was kind of like, I guess I'll just join Connor on his flight.
Yeah.
So we all went on the same flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing a video shoot in Gunma, and dude, man, it was. Oh boy, it was like cursed from the start. So I rent cars in Japan fairly often. I've rented a car in Japan from this one location at least 10 plus times. I've been there so many goddamn times, and
They just know who you are now.
I've been there so many times, right? So when you book a car in Japan, if it's winter season, you probably want to just get snow tires, just in case, because you don't know where you're going, right? And I always get snow tires, always. And so I got snow tires. I rock up to the rental car place, and it's 8 a.m. and we gotta get going because like our video, we're on like a tight schedule. We gotta get to our next place. It's about a 2-hour drive away. And as we're in Japan, one question they'll ask you when you rent a car is normally they'll ask you, "Where are you going?" And it's normally a chill thing. They normally kind of don't care.
It's not like American TSA.
Yeah.
It's not. They like sometimes they'll be a bit persistent about it, but sometimes they'll be like, "Where are you going?" You're like, "North." They'll be like, "Cool." And just carry on.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where are you going?" I'm going. I'm going to Gunma. He was like, "Where in Gunma?" I was like, "Well, all right, okay." And so I showed him where I was going, and he was like, and then he started talking with the other staff. I was like, "What the fuck? We're not allowed to go to Gunma? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, a 2-hour drive, dog. What's up?" And then he pulls out the translating thing, and he goes, basically just saying, "You can't take this car." And I was like, "What do you mean I can't take the car?" He's like, "It doesn't have snow tires on it. You didn't ask for snow tires." I was like,
Right.
what do you mean I asked for snow tires? I asked for snow tires. I got the receipt right here.
Yeah.
He's like, no, there's no snow tires on it. So, and I just got like a normal ass small car. I thought, okay, fuck. Well,
With no snow tires.
Well, I clicked snow tires.
Right.
So I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, "You can't take this car." He's
Okay.
like, "So what we can do is if you come back in an hour, we'll get you this car." And he points at this car, and I look down, I'm like, "Yeah, that's an 8-seater. I don't need an 8-seater. That's massive. I do not want to take this. We're going down like small roads. I don't want an 8-seater." And he's like, "Oh, we can't do anything. We can't let you have the car." I was
Right.
like, "What?" And I was like, "Fine, I'll take the 8-seater then. Like, what can I do? I
Right.
gotta go." and it was double the price.
Yeah.
And I had to pay for it, even though it wasn't my fucking fault. So we walk out, and as we're walking out, the guy starts running. Sumimasen, sumimasen. I'm like, all right, what's up? He's like, oh yeah, there were snow tires on the car. I was like, what?
So he just lied to you.
He lied. I think they fucked up and they just misread. There was snow tires on the fucking car this whole time.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. All right, so we go back in. I'm like, good, at least I can get the car. And they do something they've never done before. They asked me for like my passport and stuff, which they never asked me for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you live in Japan and
Just give him the Zaidu card, right?
yeah, well, so normally even with that, right? If you have a Japanese driving license, which I do, they normally don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And if you're a resident in Japan, even if you go to hotels, if I'm correct, you maybe have to look at this. I don't know. To my knowledge, if you are a resident in Japan, they shouldn't be asking you for like passport or Zaidu card, even when you check into a hotel. But they always do.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Japanese person,
I never get asked, yeah.
Right. And they're not supposed to ask you, but they do for you when you're a foreigner, even if you live in Japan. I don't know why. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. And same with rent a cars. If you have a Japanese driving license, they shouldn't require anything else. Because if you live in Japan, that's probably your ID anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So the dude started asking me for my passport, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I've literally rented cars from
I
you
live here.
for like 10 times, and you've never asked me for this shit. What the fuck? He's like, well, do you have like a Zaidu card? I was like, yeah, I have a Zaidu. Fine, just, dude, come on. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So anyway, I get it. It's whatever, we're going. And then we're driving, and there's no snow anywhere in Gunma. There's no snow at all. I'm like, well, this was a fucking whole fucking
Waste of time.
Waste of time. And then we're staying in a ryokan for the night, and I see where the ryokan is, and it's like there's all these roads around, and there's this big black empty area, and it's just a mountain. And our ryokan is right in the middle, on top of this mountain.
Right.
I'm like, well, I mean, how bad can it be? So we start driving, and as we start making our way up this mountain, it's 50 minutes from the bottom of the mountain to the top where the ryokan is.
Jeez.
Wow.
And there's a giant frozen lake at the top.
Right.
And so we're driving, and the snow starts to get like bigger and bigger and bigger. And 10 minutes into driving this, and it's literally like initial D, like the roads. They're literally just like this, going up. It's like if you were drifting, it'd be heaven.
Yeah.
You're just drifting the whole thing.
Right.
And as we're 10 minutes into this drive, there is a car that is sideways in the road that is skid out and spun out.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, guys, don't worry, I'm a good driver. I'm good. And this just cars with me and the cameraman. I'm like, it's fine, we'll be fine. We're going up. Down is the scary part. We're going up. So we're going up, and it's all kind of, it's a little dicey. Like you can feel the car is kind of like skidding a tiny bit here and there, and you're like, okay, come on, car, you got this. And we get up, and it's fine. But I'm worried about the next day, because I'm like, we gotta go back down.
Yeah.
And it's snowing.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh
Yikes.
God. And the car, she's like, can you back the car up a little bit more in the parking lot? And I'm trying to back it up, and the car just can't move. It's like stuck in
it's
snow.
like skidding.
Yeah, because there's just so much snow. And
Right.
I'm like, sumimasen, it won't go. It's not happening. She was like, yeah, fine, get out.
Yeah.
So the next day we film all the stuff, and we're ready to go. And we go down, and we start driving, and I noticed that I'm like, hey guys, don't want to worry or anything, but we can't stop the car. The car cannot brake. So we literally have to just go down this without fully trying to come to a stop.
Gas.
So
Stop
it is
flying.
initial D.
So we can brake, right?
Yeah.
Because you brakes and the car will stop.
Yeah.
But it won't slow down beyond like 20 or 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you're pretty much stuck at that. And if you try to stop, the car will skid out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it doesn't want to.
Right.
The car doesn't want to do that.
Fucking hell.
So I'm like, well, don't worry, guys. 30 is a really reasonable speed, and we'll be fine. And there's some turns where the car, you can feel it start to go like this, just sliding. You're like, no, guys, don't. I'm like, guys, I've drifted before. We got it. I'm like,
I've
guys.
read initial D, guys. Don't
I was
worry.
like, guys, we'll be fine. I know how to turn into the drift. It's fine. I know what I'm doing. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We'll go slow. And you pump the brakes every now and then. Just slow it down. Don't try and harshly brake. And then there was this car in front of us at one point. I don't know how this car was there.
Yeah.
And we're going down this pretty steep hill. And I noticed the car is just like stopping. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm trying to slow down. And I'm like, how the fuck is he stopped? I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like I literally cannot stop the car.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just getting slowly closer to this car. And I'm like, well, shit. We're like 30 meters away from this car. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I can't stop the car. Pretty sure if I slam the handbrake, that's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So I look if there's any other cars coming. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go on the other side of the road because I had no other choice.
Right,
I couldn't stop and I want to hit this guy.
Yeah.
So I turn on the other side of the road. The car's like, I don't like that. But we managed to keep it safe. We'd steer in and we steer back in. It was all chill. But fucking hell, it was terrifying.
Jesus.
This dude just stopped in the middle of the road. I don't know why. It's a straight road.
He was putting you to the test.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like, oh, you can drift, can you?
if we were unfortunate and another car came at the same time, it's like, oh, well, I have to hit something.
Yeah.
Like, what do I hit? Like, so yeah, driving in winter is scary. Be very careful in Japan.
Jesus.
But luckily we made it down, no problem. A little skidding here
car
and
was
there.
okay as
Car
well?
was totally chill.
Good stuff.
That's pretty why they wanted my ID. I think they were like, this motherfucker's gonna crash this car. Let's get the full ID.
Where is this guy going?
Yeah.
Why isn't he snow tires?
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was kind of crazy. But,
That's terrifying.
yeah, but luckily it all turned out okay. I think I'm pretty good under pressure. I think I don't freak out, so I'm pretty good at trying to manage the situation. But it was scary still, especially when there's other people in the car. Like if I crash the car and it's me, I'm like, this bitch is fully all insured. As long as I'm good, we were going like 10 miles an hour. I'm like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to scare them and scar them because I got to drive again.
You're just like, I can drift, guys, and they're all just like, we're gonna die.
Yeah, right. Like other than that, car was like, your driving is a fantastic car. Like, thank you. We just don't talk about the ice section.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the snow areas. Yeah, so be careful if you drive in Japan. Really make sure you look where you're going because snow tires are good, but they can't do everything.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that road was just like you needed chains to like actually.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, like, did they not give you chains?
No, you couldn't rent them.
Really?
And I wouldn't even know how to put them on. I've never put chains on my car.
Oh.
No, you can rent them, but you have to tell them like a month in advance.
You tell them a month in advance?
Yeah, because it's the snow season.
Oh my god.
These motherfuckers didn't even know you needed snow tires when you come in. So you know, what makes you think they're gonna have chains, man?
It was luckily the snow was light enough where the snow tires were fine. But if it had snowed any more, I think it would just have to been like, sorry, we can't go up there.
Yeah,
like, it's too bad.
Jeez.
Because you just couldn't stop, and it's scary. It's pretty fucking.
Yeah, because I
scary.
mean, like, I went up to go see my grandma, up in Sendai for a couple of days.
The roads are steep. Yeah, very steep.
Yeah, and like the town where like I kind of grew up, I went there, and I'd never seen that much snow in my life.
Oh,
it was
where was it?
no, Miyagi, yeah, Sendai.
Oh, they get some pretty big snowfall.
Near Sendai, but like I mean, Sendai can get some snowfall, but like the Zaol like mountain range stops a lot of the snow, right?
Yeah, that gets a lot there.
So like, so when I saw that there was like a good 30-40 centimeters on the road, I was like, this is unprecedented. Like it must be like this winter has been absolutely fucked for Japan right now. Amazing for the ski fields, but I'm not going to the ski fields this season because it's just full of Australians.
Yeah.
It's also
No offense, Australians.
no offense to Australia. It's also crazy how you're going so careful on this road, and then of course the public bus driver will be like fucking multi-track drifting going down it like it is sleeping. I'm like, this is fucked up. How does he drive a bus and he's taking this like it's easy?
He's like one-handed.
Bro,
like,
this boy's tech it like doing gacha pulls while like full on steering, man. It's fucked up. I was terrified for my life, and this bus came downhill. Look, dude didn't look phased.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah, whatever.
eyes closed, dog. I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah, because I did notice that like the week before we had like a cold front or something. And
Yeah.
Oh my god, it dropped like 10 degrees.
Insane, yeah.
Like we had a trip planned to Sapporo when Sydney's family was in the country, and we had to cancel that.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because ended up going to Yamanashi. They really,
warmer.
a little bit
warmer.
like
Much warmer.
Yeah, much warmer. No snow there. Still very, very cold, but just no snow or anything like that.
Yeah.
Ended up having a fantastic time as well.
Yeah.
Little thing I noticed, taking Sydney's family around the countryside. For some reason, obviously Yamanashi, I don't think gets a lot of like foreign tourists compared to Tokyo, Osaka,
Maybe
Kyoto.
Mount Fuji at most.
Yeah,
right?
maybe Mount Fuji, but we weren't near anywhere like too close to Mount Fuji. So we showed them to a lot of our favorite wineries where me and Sydney would go, since that's kind of the area we know best. And as soon as a lot of these local Japanese people saw that there were foreign tourists, of course they'd be scared at first, but as soon as they could tell me and Sydney started speaking Japanese, like for some reason, the combination of foreign tourists and a few of them that could speak Japanese, they went from super scared to inviting us to see like some of the most intimate parts of their like establishments and houses. I don't know what this switch was, but I remember we went to this one winery, and we were trying a bunch of wines and everything like that. And at first they were like, "Oh, sorry, we don't know if you can try all the wines you want," and something like that. And then we were waiting. You know, we were outside just trying the wine, and the owner comes up to me and Sydney. And you know, starts asking us, "Oh, why are you guys here?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, we live in Japan. We're just showing our parents around, since this is their first time to Japan." And he, as soon as he saw that, as soon as he heard that, and as soon as he started hearing that, you know, we live in Japan, he was like, "I gotta show you something." And I was like, what is going on? What are you buying? What are you selling? And then he takes us around behind the winery. To this like little shed, and he's just like, "Oh, this is in." Yeah. So none of this is for sale. This is all my hobby. And he opens the door, and it's a full on like homebrew distillery that he's got in this. He's got in this little shed, and he's like, "I'm trying to make gin. This is a winery, by the way." So he
mad scientist.
Yeah. So literally, he was like,
"I've cracked the formula of gin. I'm going to make it."
It's just like a crack den. It's like, this is my personal collection of meth.
Yeah, he was like, he just literally opened up this little shed. He's like, "So that winery's my business. This is like my hobby, and I wanted to show you guys my little hobby."
Isn't just a business; it's a passion.
And he takes out this fucking full on jar. It is literally like a jar, no packaging, whatever. It is just a jar. Scoops out a little bit of gin, and he goes, "Go, Joe. Would you like to try some?" It's a new concoction I've been working on.
Was it good?
Actually, it was pretty damn decent. Actually,
Shed gin?
I would be so scared.
I don't know about shed
to drink
gin.
back shed gin.
Back shed gin made in Japan. Dog, I don't know.
Oh, that's scary.
I guess it's probably the safest country in the world to go into someone's shed and drink their alcohol. But still, I don't know.
I mean, I would get it if it was like, you know, a gin distillery, right? But like, you know.
I mean, like it's like to give credit to the.
It sounds nice though. I'm just clowning on the whole shed part, but it sounds nice.
I mean, it was a shed, but that's just because, you know, he has built a pretty big winery for himself,
right.
And it's one of the most famous wineries in that area. I think he just wanted to do something as like a personal project,
why not?
and just start making gin. And I was just like, why are you inviting us into your house?
It's so weird that they literally go from like, I just encountered an alien, to being like, oh yes, you are family for generations.
Yeah,
please come here. Like,
people are really chill, especially in the countryside. We also found like a brewery in the middle of Yamanashi as well. That's just run by an American dude. It's super fucking random. Shout out to Obina Brewery. I think that's the name. They just have like a craft beer place.
Obina.
Obina, right.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the craft beer that Sydney's dad gave?
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Craft beer for us.
Yeah, that was in this brewery we found that. You had to drive up a really, really steep mountain, same kind of mountain roads. And he was just this
sounds like he's living his best life.
There's just this random dude that just had a bunch of land. He built his house on this land, kind of like raised a family there. And one day, like, his mates were gassing him up that there were no good craft beer places in Japan, and they were like kind of gassing him up to be like, you could do it.
So he just went, fuck it, I'll do it myself.
And he just literally went, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Built his own brew house right on this mountain, brews his own beer.
Chad.
And I was talking to him, and he fucking incredible story where he was just like, yeah, I just built this brew house all by myself, designed it myself, and everything. And I was like,
Chad.
What an absolute Chad. Great fucking beer as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you can find the most random things sometimes just in the middle of the countryside. Talking about random, finding like random artifacts. These exist, I feel like, the most in Japan, if anything.
Oh, yeah.
Where you go to like the most remote places, and there'll just be this really weird random site there.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you know, we experienced that on the road trip special, right? Like that fucking Maui, the Easter Island heads in the middle of the, like, that was literally it was kind of hard to show in the video, but that was truly in the middle of fucking
it was
nowhere.
out the
There was
way.
nothing else around us, and it was just there.
Yeah.
And there's so many, like, maybe not to that scale, but yeah, as Garnt was saying, like, there's so many, like, either tiny restaurants or, like, bars or, like, where I'm like, how the fuck are you making any money out here?
Yeah, it is odd.
Like, you maybe encounter, like, one person every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, you run a business out here? Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure low cost of living kind of offsets that a little bit, but I'm like, that's this sort of big place you're running right here. I don't know how cheap it is to run businesses out here.
Now, it must be from like word of mouth or something, right? Because otherwise, some of these places it's just be like you would never be able to find it otherwise.
Yeah, glad to say though that not despite, but after the first day, Sydney's parents very, very much enjoyed Japan, they. After the weirdness of the first day, the girls' bar and everything, I kind of think it was a trial by fire because we had a pretty normal trip afterwards. Yeah. But after the trial by fire, they just enjoyed every aspect of Japanese culture.
Yeah, that's good.
Kind of assimilated. I don't know if assimilated is the right word, but kind of got used to it very, very quickly. So hopefully your parents have a similar experience as well.
Yeah, they're coming in April, so it'll be interesting to see.
Do you have anywhere you're going to take them? Like you've already figured it out? Or?
No, I haven't. I don't know where to take them.
Or what are they like?
I don't want to go Kyoto, but I know they want to go Kyoto. But I don't want to. Maybe I can just send them off. Have fun.
So I'll chill in the hotel. You guys
find someone there.
Yeah.
I do not want to go Kyoto, man.
Yeah.
This is going to be in April. It's going to be so rammed.
Oh yeah, because that's fucking Hanami season.
Yeah, I was like,
right?
no, don't make me do it.
Have a few days where you take them to the tourist spots because that's what we did with Sydney's family. But you contrast that with just somewhere outside in the country, maybe
I want to
maybe
take
Niigata or something like that.
Yeah, I mean April's a good time to drive around Japan.
Yeah,
all the roads are nice. It's really easy. Weather's perfect. So I'm definitely going to drive them around somewhere. I haven't decided where.
If you want somewhere close by, maybe like Hakone, like around there would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, you could drive
Depends
to Kyoto or that kind of area. It's kind of fun drive. Yeah, it's long. It's nice.
Went to onsen with my father and uncle-in-law now.
Did they like it?
They absolutely loved it.
They didn't mind getting naked?
Had to do a little bit of convincing, honestly.
God, that's the hardest part, man.
That's the hardest part. It's always the bit before. Okay, so here's the thing. When we were in Tokyo, and we had to cancel our Sapporo trip.
Yeah.
They were like, just book us a normal hotel. And so they left the booking to me. They wanted just a normal hotel. I tried to sell them the idea of the onsen beforehand. And they were just like, that doesn't seem like it's for us.
You do have to peer pressure them.
Yeah.
I feel like a really bad producer. Get naked now. Get in the back.
Show me your dick.
Trust me, it's good.
And so I did a little bit of a white lie. I was like, there's only one place that's open right now, just because we were at the last moment.
Big brain.
Turned out to be an onsen. There were actually other hotels in the area that were more traditional without onsens, but it was all like kind of the same price.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go for the onsen and see where it takes us. So I booked the onsen and we were there. They really, really loved the more traditional Japanese place. I think if they hadn't experienced that, they wouldn't have known what they were missing kind of. And so when I saw them really enjoying like the more traditional vibes and everything, I'm like, I think I can get them. So I remember going to this brewery with them and we got a bit toasted. And on the journey back, I'm like, don't you guys feel like a nice warm bath right now? I'm just saying.
I think we should get our penises actually.
Yeah.
What do you hear me?
I'm just saying, hear me out. I'm going to go right now. It's going to be one of the most relaxing baths I've taken of my life. So you guys can join me. No pressure at all. And I think
the hook is in. You just got to reel it in now.
Exactly. And you know what? After a long walk and a few good beers, that sounds like a really, really nice idea. And so just all it needed was a little bit of convincing, and then
why do you do like a tickle in the balls?
I was like, no, that's how it is.
It's like, come on, let me tickle the balls. Come on,
let me tickle the balls just a little bit. But no awkwardness at all.
Good,
even though it was like, technically like family members now, no awkwardness at all. Everyone enjoyed the onsen. And
it really does change the moment you step foot in the water.
Yeah.
It's just like, this was worth it.
Have you had this conversation with people like, can I wear can I wear like swim shorts? Like, no, you cannot wear swim shorts. And they're like, why? Is it not? No, you can't wear swim shorts. You're not allowed.
I'm like, do you wear swim shorts in your bath?
I'm like, that's like more offensive. Don't wear, just don't do it. Like, you can't go in with swim shorts. I'm like, why? I'm like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's the culture. I don't know.
Just get your cock out and shut up.
Like, just put your balls in the bath. Trust me, it'll make sense when you're in. All right, like don't be coming in with swim shorts. An old Japanese lady will come in and kill you if she sees you wearing swim shorts. Like, I'm like, well, why? Like, because they view it as like you got to be clean. You can't have foreign objects going because it's like dirty. I know it's not dirty, and you probably wash them, but that's not how it works. Like you can't. You're not allowed. Okay. I don't come into your house making up rules about who can go in what bath. Just follow their rules. I get it. You're not comfortable. But
what do you mean I'm not allowed to pee in the sink? I just really want to pee in the sink.
Like I wouldn't pee in my friend's shower, even though I do it in mine.
Yeah. I don't know. It definitely, I don't know if it is like a mental thing, but it definitely feels a lot cleaner being naked. Because I remember when I went back to England, I went to a bath and we went to like one of the spas there. And they have like very kind of like similar spas where it's kind of not just a pool, but like I call it a hot tub.
Yeah, hot
because
tub.
you're still in there with shorts, and there's just something about being there in shorts and seeing other people in shorts that it just, maybe it's a mental thing, but it definitely doesn't feel as refreshing or as clean.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Especially when everyone has to bathe before they can enter as well.
Yeah.
I think that's also important.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I love onsens. I'm going to try and get my parents to go one. We'll see what they say.
Yeah.
I'm doubtful. I feel like I explained the idea to my mum. She seemed really against it. She seemed like, no, I can't do that. No. My dad, I think my dad's probably, I think he wanted to seem chill, but I feel like he won't like it either. I know my brothers are down though. My brothers are really chill. They're like, sure.
Yeah.
If I tell them it's the culture, they'll be like, I guess.
Yeah, there's like, there is nothing you can do about it. It is the culture.
Just other stuff, they're like, I have to eat this. I have to eat it. It's the culture. You don't insult the sushi chef.
You'll literally get stabbed by the sushi chef if you don't finish this.
Just put them in a situation where an onsen just feels really enticing, because as soon as you get them in the mindset to be like, just gas them up a little bit, to be like,
good food, get them a couple of
good
drinks.
Food, and I'll just be like, the beer afterwards is going to be the most refreshing beer of your life, which it is.
I'm also, I gotta think of new names for fish to lie to them so they don't know what the actual fish is. Because if I tell them what it is, they won't eat it, I think.
Like what? Like the roe? What do you mean?
Like, so I went to a sushi restaurant yesterday and they served eel, and it was really, really good. It didn't. It tastes so meaty.
Yeah.
And I know that if you tell someone it's eel, they'll be like, no.
Yeah.
But it looks like
from the concept, right?
It looked, honestly, I don't know how he did this, but this eel looked like a piece of mackerel.
Yeah.
On top, and I was like, huh. Just tell them it's mackerel. Everything's mackerel.
Just be like, we don't have an English name. It's just called unagi. It's just
it's like, but what does that translate to? Oh, it
but
doesn't have a translation.
Some of them I know they're probably not gonna like. I'll be surprised if they like sea urchin, because I don't like sea urchin. That shit is whack.
Yeah. I mean, like,
that shit is so whack.
with things like sea urchin and even like salmon roe for a lot of people, it's like it's a lot for people.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll see. Yeah. They probably want to go Kyoto though, and I'm dreading that. I really don't want to. I'm thinking I might try and be like, you've been in Japan a week now. You're ready for it to go Kyoto. Kyoto is a really cool place, but I've only been with them when there's no tourists, and even then it felt like a lot. I don't know why. Kyoto's cool, but I just don't think it's like my kind of place. Osaka's way more my speed.
Yeah,
I like the party and the vibes of Osaka.
Kyoto weirdly feels like a theme park in a lot of ways, right? Where it's like it doesn't feel like an authentic Japanese experience, even though it's the most authentic thing you can get.
It feels super stiff, super. I mean, it is old school, but like it has that vibe, and like me personally, I like the laid backness of other areas of Japan a lot more.
Yeah. No, I totally get that feel, because actually when you guys came to Thailand and I was thinking about where I could take you guys, I really wanted to take you. There's a lot of like temples in Bangkok, right? But there's just something about the vibe where you take people who are visiting to a temple, and the architecture, fucking
we
beautiful.
saw some of them. They were
beautiful, all gold and everything, but it's just so many tourists, so many people just taking pictures. It's just, you kind of like lose a little bit of a sense of what makes this place so amazing in the first place, in my opinion. And I get that same kind of feeling with Kyoto as well, where it was super cool to see when the streets were empty and there was like no one there. Obviously bad for the city, bad for business there. But honestly, I've enjoyed just going to some other temples in Japan where it's a bit more isolated. And
And Kyoto prices are nuts.
Yeah.
The ryokans and hotels in Kyoto are so expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you
But,
have
like,
to book so far in advance.
That whole area, though, like Nara and Osaka as well, is like they all uprise it for the.
I've never been to
foreign
Nara,
tourists.
and I don't care about feeding these deer. Why do people care so much about this?
To be fair, Nara, I think out of all the prefectures I've been to, Nara was probably the most underwhelming. Because like
You could feed other animals elsewhere.
Okay, look, like, you know, as someone who loves animals, feeding the deer, it's pretty hype. It's pretty fun, especially if you go with a bunch of people who are like, you know, not that good with animals, and seeing them shit their pants is really fun. But other than that, and the giant, the massive bronze Buddha statue that they have there isn't really a whole lot to do in Nara, if I'm being honest. Like, it's kind of underwhelming. Like, there's maybe a couple of like dishes that you can only get in Nara, but it's not anything like mind blowing, if you ask me. Like, if you want the good food, you just go to Osaka, and if you want the culture, you go to Kyoto. It's like Nara's kind of in the middle of that, and it's not really.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've just been living here long enough where I just enjoy just driving around small areas.
Yeah.
Just seeing all the weird stuff they have and just kind of checking that out. It's way more fun.
No, I agree.
The super touristy places. That's only because we've lived here. And obviously, if you come here the first time, you should go and do the touristy stuff. Because it is cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
If you're going for the first time,
And you
go to
should
Kyoto, go to Nara, go to
temples are
Osaka.
sick.
Like, yeah, they're awesome. But yeah, after a while, you
Not
just be
for
like,
me.
I think I'm good.
Yeah. Just driving around is my favorite part as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta drive more, Garnt.
I'm looking for more opportunities. I'm glad I got one, you know, with this, but you know, yeah, next time as well. Next time.
All right, next time.
Can't relate. Yeah, so I watched a movie the other day that
Is
I
that,
think
like,
you two.
impressive?
What?
I like the way you said that,
Yeah,
like
you
it was
said
an
it like I should
impressive thing.
be-
Did you know I watched a movie
Okay.
yesterday?
All right, what did
I think it'd be a movie you guys will like. It's called The Northman.
Okay.
Okay.
I had never heard of it until Aki told me about it, because Aki's been on this really weird binge of watching Viking films. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe it's the fact that she loves Assassin's Creed. But like so she recommended me this film that came out like not that long ago, like maybe a couple of months ago. Like didn't do any numbers at the box office or anything, but I was interested to watch it because it's a Robert Eggers film. He's the same guy who made The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I like this actor, and like the people, and it was like fucking star-studded, like, you know, cast. Like there was Alex Skarsgård, who's the guy who played Pennywise in It, and Björk was in the film, which I thought was interesting. I was like, okay, I didn't even know you could act. And like Willem Dafoe and like, you know, all these like pretty big actors.
I like
in
The
it.
Lighthouse a lot. I've been meaning to watch
Yeah.
it.
So I watched it, and it was the most fucking over-the-top epic film I've ever seen in my. It was like if you took the concept of a Viking revenge story and put it in a Dark Souls world.
Oh.
Like the fights were just so like, you know,
I've been meaning to watch it.
yeah, like you know how Eggers type of like directing is like very like art housey.
Yeah, it's very
and, you know,
odd.
Yeah.
It's
Very
very
weird.
you know, it's very non-conventional, right? Which is probably why it flopped at the box office. But
Did it flop?
yeah, apparently it was a flop. Yeah, unfortunately, which is like crazy because it was such a good movie. But like the fights, what I liked about this film was that like I guess the guy who wrote the original screenplay of it is like a poet, so all of the dialogue is kind of written in this like poetry of sorts. So it's not so much like a
that does sound weird.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go avenge my uncle who killed my father, and you know they will reap for their sins in the gates of hell. It was more like, you know, it was like I will find the blade in the moon of the night, and
like Shakespearean.
yeah, it was so like it was like watching a stage play.
Yeah.
But with these Vikings and like some of the fight scenes were just like the most 300 ass like fight scenes where it's just like so over the top, so epic. Like there's one point where they're like two Vikings completely butt naked are fighting on like the top of a volcano, and the volcano is like erupting in the background. They're
it
just
is.
like
Of course it
slicing
is.
each other up, and I'm
Of course
like,
it is.
this is too insane. This is too epic. That and it made me realize I was like, why has no one heard of this film? Why has like no one watched this film? Because it's like it literally did feel like Dark Souls,
Right.
Like if they made Dark Souls into a movie and they put
Is this
some
in the
Vikings in.
cinemas that you watched it?
No, it was online. I saw it online.
It came out a
Okay.
few years ago.
Yeah, it came,
okay.
it came out last year actually.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've
it was
never
not.
heard of this
Yeah,
film.
me neither. So I watched it and I was just like, God damn, like, because I still haven't seen The Lighthouse, right? But I've seen like little bits of The Lighthouse, yeah. And I was like, okay, if this is the same guy who made The Lighthouse, I'm interested now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just made me realize I was like, Vikings are fucking cool. Like, I knew they were cool, but like,
Watch Vinland Saga.
but that's what I was saying, right? I was like,
Saga.
I was like halfway through this film, and I looked over at Aki. I'm like, you should probably watch Vinland Saga, because the plot is basically Vinland Saga.
Right.
Wait, yeah, has Aki not watched Vinland Saga?
No, she's never seen
Why?
it. I don't know. And I'm like, you're on the Viking like thing.
it's
Like,
literally-
go watch Vinland Saga.
The household's like, we do not watch anime
yeah.
in this household.
Read the sign, Joey. Read the sign. Don't make me tap it. Do not watch anime.
It has been 0 days since anime was watched. Yeah. So I just wanted to recommend that film because I've literally heard no one talking about it.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I'm
fucking
on
epic.
board.
Yeah.
It's so epic.
I watched a few new films on the flight back from Thailand as well.
Okay.
Would you watch?
Yeah, because I was just so tired. I forgot to download. Yeah.
That's the worst joke ever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Forgot to download any anime and everything like that. So I'm like,
God forbid.
okay, God forbid. I got to now go through the library of films on this
live
plane.
action
Of
films?
live action films. And for some reason, Thai Airways had like the entire, let's say, trilogy of Godzilla films.
Oh,
on,
like the new ones.
yeah, the new ones.
Oh shit.
And I was like, it's kind of anime, right? I'll allow
God,
it.
No.
just because it's Japanese, you
I know,
can't say it's
I know,
anime.
I know. But so I just wanted to see out of everything, because I'd watched most of the films that were on the library.
So wait, so it's Shin Godzilla.
No. It's it's Godzilla.
Yeah.
Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh, King of Monsters.
And Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just like, let's see what this trilogy is all about.
Yeah.
Honestly, not that bad. I had a great time. I didn't know, because I have not paid attention to the Godzilla films. I did not know that they had made a cinematic universe for the fucking monster films.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I
fucking love Godzilla.
I haven't watched it, but I knew that
right.
because other people talk about it.
Yeah, because like especially like King of Monsters was like fan fiction for like or like fan service for like Godzilla fans because
Yeah.
it's like you had like Ghidorah come out and
Yeah.
like my girl Mothra was there. I was like, let's go Mothra, yeah baby.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, they're bringing out all the fucking monsters.
dude.
What's going on?
It's fucking
because
awesome.
I'm used to Godzilla's being just one film. And
Yeah.
just having and just having that one film, especially in like the Western films, and there's that be it. I didn't realize that they had made a kind of like a ongoing storyline with all of these monsters, and then
Yeah.
adding like King Kong into the mix and adding the King Kong movies. Honestly, I had a much better time than I thought I would had, considering I'm not that big of a fan of like Godzilla.
Which one was your favorite?
Probably King of Monsters.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I don't know why that movie got so much shit because I'm like, dude, how could you hate a
did
bunch of
those
monsters?
movies get shit on?
I heard King of Monsters wasn't as well received in like the Godzilla fan base,
Right.
or whatever, or like just the general movie going thing. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how could you hate a bunch of monsters beating the shit out of each other?
Yeah, it made
Like-
me. I think it just like lit a certain part of my brains that I just like. Oh, giant things are fun.
Yeah.
giant monsters. That's cool.
It was like Smash Bros with kaiju.
Honestly,
Like, it was fucking awesome.
Honestly, right? Because
It's like the whole gang is here.
I don't think anything's tickled that part of my brain since like the original Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
I guess they always are kind of like bash your head together films.
Yeah.
Ooh, Unga Bunga films.
Yeah, it was literally just Unga Bunga films, but in like entire cities.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say the MVPs are whoever the fucking construction workers are to rebuild these cities every time a monster battle happens. Because oh my god, in King of Monsters, every fucking city gets destroyed. My god, is there a city left on Earth that hasn't been decimated by these monsters? And yeah, there's another film afterwards where King Kong and Godzilla go at it. I'm like, god damn.
Just conveniently after like that huge amount of destruction and
Yeah.
many lives lost, all the architects survived. Right?
Godzilla is just a simulation. I'm convinced. Right? It's got to be a simulated world because, like, how else are these towns appearing back so quickly?
I don't know, man. Maybe they pull like an Ava and like a new, town comes out from underground. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, let's replace it. But
I gotta say, my favorite Godzilla though is still Shin Godzilla. Have you seen Shin Godzilla?
I've seen it.
I've
yeah.
never seen a Godzilla film.
You've never seen this
Really?
Godzilla film?
Just didn't look like my cup of tea.
Did you like Pacific Rim?
I didn't watch Pacific Rim.
Okay.
It didn't look like my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I
think it might be your cup of tea.
I think it'll be a
Listen,
couple.
I know I'm a simple-brained individual at times. It doesn't mean I
It
just
is
want a
the
Pacific
most
Rim. I
turn
know.
your brain off film
I know
ever.
it is. I don't
There
like
is
that. I don't
literally
like that in films.
There is literally a giant monkey fucking flying around, wrecking
they say
entire
that.
buildings,
Yeah.
you know?
And destroying a giant lizard.
The only kind of kaiju-esque thing I've ever watched is the 2006 King Kong film, whatever that remake was.
Oh, the one with Jack Black in it?
I guess they had Jack Black.
Yeah.
That one sucked.
Yeah.
That one
I
was
remember when that
okay.
came out, though, everyone hyped that up to death.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I remember
Yeah.
being like, why is everyone talking about that? King Kong?
I don't know if I would call it's ironic, but don't know if I would
King Kong
call
kaiju.
the original King Kong kaiju.
That's a never-ending argument.
That
on
is
the
that,
internet.
okay.
actually?
Maybe
There's so many Reddit threads I've seen being like,
Well,
"Is King Kong a kaiju?"
I thought it was because they always had like King Kong versus Godzilla and shit. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like
Is Clifford the Big Red Dog a
okay,
kaiju?
could be if he was like destructive.
like I don't think the original King Kong films are kind of
I
like
wouldn't-
kaiju
yeah, I wouldn't-
films.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Like their appeal to me is totally different because when I watch a King Kong film,
It's like Sonic
totally
and Smash,
different.
right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, really good analogy.
Yeah.
Just seeing it's more like seeing Sonic and Smash
Right?
than
He's like the American dude popping up, just be like hot dogs, chili dogs. It's like King Kong, right? He's like, it's what
Yeah.
He just got roped in.
Like I know, if you ask me, and you put a gun in my head, and if I just said it, it's like the closest kind of thing in my
yeah,
head. Like, I know that it's not.
I think King Kong became a kaiju after he was kind of roped
pissed
into
off
the
kaiju fans.
Godzilla like franchise.
Yeah.
I don't know the
I
kaiju.
don't
But,
fucking know.
I don't know.
fucking yeah, to me, like Pacific Rim is still one of my favorite. Turn your head off, turn your brain off, and just enjoy visual cocaine because oh my god, that film gets you so hype.
I always wondered on planes. I was like, I wonder if the air flight crew, they like judge what you're watching. Like if they see what you're watching, they're like, that's fucking dog shit. Because I was watching like a Spyro the Dragon video, and some woman comes over to me, she's like, do you want champagne? And I'm like, I will. Spyro the Dragon. I'm watching Spyro the Dragon videos. I'm like, they must think I am a weird ass person. I'm sitting in this business seat next to all these serious businessmen watching Spyro the fucking Dragon reviews. Like, they must think like, who is this guy? What is he watching? Because I was also judging the person in front of me for what they were watching.
Right.
We got on this 6-hour flight, and I shit you not, this person was watching Minions and Minions movies the whole flight. And
There's always that guy.
and I was like, who is this guy? Because I was wondering what kind of person would watch Minions in business class.
I thought
right?
because we had a couple of like kids in the business cabin that we were in, right? So I remember, it was the guy sitting right in front of me.
Yeah,
I was like, every time I looked over, I saw Minions.
It's fucking Minions.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the toilet in the
Yeah, me
front
too, yeah.
just to check. Maybe it's like a 15-year-old kid or whatever. I look over, it's like a 50-year-old woman.
Yeah, she's just watching all
It's
the
just
Minions
like
films.
dead serious face, just watching Minions and Minions 2, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey man, you do you, like.
Yeah, champagne to go with my
Yeah,
Minions.
I'm
And I
very-
was just, in my head, I'm like, well, maybe the flight staff aren't judging, but I certainly am.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my Spyro
I
video.
certainly am judging. Yeah. I want to go back to Spyro 1 reviews. Thank you very much.
Why are you watching Spyro 1?
There was, I had this video.
Actually, now I'm curious.
Yeah.
I like a YouTuber, and he did a whole thing reviewing them for like 2 hours, and I was like,
Spyro.
yeah, I was like,
It's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
It's a great game.
It's a good video too.
Yeah.
Very good video. It was just kind of odd, I thought. It just kept coming over as Spyro gameplay was showing on the screen. And I thought, they probably think I'm a weirdo. They must think I'm a little odd.
It's whatever. You do you,
quirky.
man.
It's whatever. Little quirky. Ooh, look at
It's
you.
fine.
But look, now we know what we need to do. I need to watch Lighthouse. You need to watch Pacific Rim.
I think like if you don't like Pacific Rim, you just don't like kaiju films.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll watch it at some point. I don't know when. We'll figure it out.
Pacific Rim is the taste test.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Then you can go watch
Yeah.
like the Godzilla films if you want.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah. Hey, look at all these patrons though.
Ooh.
Let us know in the comments below. Is King Kong a kaiju?
Oh god, don't stop.
I'm waiting for your responses. But in the meantime, if you'd like to support the show, then hey, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
Also, Legendary Pictures or Films, I forgot the company that owns this. You got me invested in your fucking Monsterverse. I don't know how. When's the Pacific Rim crossover coming? I want to know that now because I'm not invested in Godzilla.
Pacific Rim 3.
And now one
Stop.
flight later, I'm like, when's the Pacific Rim crossover? I want to know now.
Let us know. All right.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Bye.